Chapter 4692. However, Jiang Chen had shocked him too much. No one knew how high Tyrant Chen's evaluation of Jiang Chen was. On the ancient dragon star, there was only one member of the dragon tribe who could fight head-on with the tyrant dragon, and that was the eternal dragon tribe. However, things were different now. Tyrant Chen had never dreamed that he would be so troubled by a half-human half-dragon guy. It was not that he was in deep trouble, but that Jiang Chen's strength was simply too shocking for him. Hot blood and anger filled Tyrant Chen's heart. The tyrant dragon was high up in the mountain, and no one could fight against it. However, Jiang Chen had done it. Over the years, few of his opponents had been able to withstand more than 10 moves from him. It seems that it is time to teach you a lesson. Tyrant Chen obviously did not want to tangle with Jiang Chen any longer. His greatest advantage was the physique of the tyrant dragon. His true form was his strongest form. I also want to see how strong the so-called tyrant dragon is. Jiang Chen's eyes were burning, and his fighting spirit was awe-inspiring. Tyrant Chen had completely aroused his desire to fight. He had not fought to his heart's content for a long time. Roar! Tyrant Chen roared. He shook his body and transformed into a dragon that was hundreds of feet tall. He stood upright on the peak of the mountain, full of arrogance and contempt for the world. Dang! It's your good fortune to be able to die under my dragon body. Tyrant Chen rose into the air and fell from the sky. The moment he fell from a height of thousands of meters, the sky above Jiang Chen's head became dim and blocked out the sun. Jiang Chen's eyes were incomparably sharp. His expression was as calm as usual as he rapidly retreated. Along with a loud bang, Jin Xiaoxiao and Li Kongyi's scalp went numb. Ba Tianchen, who was like a mountain, finally landed on the ground. The earth quaked and the mountains shook. Cracks appeared under his feet. Jiang Chen dodged the attack by a hair's breadth, but Tyrant Skychen didn't give up. He didn't slow down at all. Every step he took caused the ground to tremble. Again and again, Jiang Chen could only evade the attacks. His body was huge, and the impact and explosive force of his attacks had increased exponentially. Compared to before, he was much stronger. Sword come. Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword in his hand and looked up to the sky. The dragon shadow roared, and the dragon sword roared. The heavenly dragon sword and the limitless sword rushed up to the clouds. Tyrant Chen became very serious. Facing Jiang Chen's terrifying sword, he did not dare to be careless, but he was fearless and became more courageous. Jiang Chen was as small as an ant in Tyrant Chen's eyes, but this guy had given him a lot of surprises. You're just an ant trying to shake a tree. Let's see how long you can last. Tyrant Chen pressed on. The huge figure, which was hundreds of meters tall, had a strong impact on people's senses. In Jin Xiaoxiao's opinion, Jiang Chen must have a slim chance of survival. However, the truth was not so. The perfect combination of the limitless sword and the heavenly dragon sword, in addition to the integration of Jiang Chen and the heavenly dragon sword, was not something Tyrant Chen dared to underestimate, even if he was only at the first heaven of the Star Emperor realm. It's time to make a breakthrough. Jiang Chen clenched his teeth. Facing Tyrant Chen's reckless attack, he felt more and more oppressed. The more pressure he felt, the stronger his fighting spirit became. Jiang Chen used his fighting posture and the oppressive momentum to constantly squeeze out his strength and strength. This battle would definitely help him make a breakthrough. Tyrant Tianchen's sharp claw was like a heavenly hook, tearing through the sky. Wherever Jiang Chen went, everything was torn apart by the giant claw. The deep ravine on the ground, the cave on the mountain, the stairway to heaven, everything was destroyed. 24 moves of sword. 25 moves of sword. 26 moves of sword. Layers of sword wills came one after another, stronger than the previous one. Even Tyrant Chen did not dare to take the attack head-on. The limitless sword was so powerful that it left a sound when it passed by. The buzzing sword chi broke the mountains, rivers, and dragon veins. Although Jiang Chen was small, his strength was surprisingly great. Even Tyrant Chen could not do anything to Jiang Chen. He could only rely on his strong body to wear down Jiang Chen, trying to kill him here. Jiang Chen fought and retreated at the same time. The pressure was so great that ordinary people could not imagine it. There were 4 heavens between them, and only he could fight back and forth with the Tyrant Dragon King. Now's the time. Jiang Chen's Genesis Chi constantly gushed out, gathered at the 8 meridians around his body, and rushed to the top of his head. At that moment, as the heavenly dragon sword roared and roared, Jiang Chen's body reached its limit. The dragon transformation had brought out the full potential of his body, and his strength had reached the second heavenly layer of the Star Emperor realm. He had broken through the shackles and leaped through the dragon gate. Jiang Chen's strength rapidly soared. Although it was only a difference of one heavenly layer, it was a huge difference for Jiang Chen. After the breakthrough, Jiang Chen was like a tiger that had grown wings. The limitless sword shot out, and the sword will shot out, splitting the wind and splitting the waves. It was omnipotent. 27 moves of sword. A blood-red color filled Jiang Chen's eyes. He exerted all his strength and began to blow the horn of a counterattack. Soaring to the clouds, the sword soared to the clouds. Sword light raged, cutting through the void. Thousands of feet of sword will descended from the sky. Tyrant Tianchen raised his head and died. His eyes almost popped out of their sockets. He raised his arms to block, but it was impossible to stop Jiang Chen's sword. It was as if the sky had collapsed and the earth had sunk. His 100-foot dragon body sank 20 feet into the ground, and his arms were completely crippled. Jiang Chen took advantage of the victory and relentlessly attacked. With the sword in his hand, he turned into a dark blue shadow, constantly shuttling through the void like a stream of light, illuminating the sky. The shadow constantly passed through Tyrant Tianchen's body in an astonishing arc, like a blue pattern. The next moment, Jiang Chen emerged with a heavenly dragon sword in hand. He silently stood on the mountain peak, gasping for breath. The 100-foot dragon body also crashed to the ground. Boom! It was deafening and shocking. On the other side, Li Kongyi unblinkingly looked at Ba Tianchen and sucked in a breath of cold air. Unknowingly, his heart had also sunk to the bottom of the valley. Damn it! How could this guy be so strong? Li Kongyi had never thought that Jiang Chen could kill Tyrant Tianchen. Tyrant Tianchen was an expert of the Tyrant Dragon tribe. This guy was one of the top experts even in the dinosaur tribe. He was at the peak of the 5th heaven of the Star Emperor tribe. Although he was not a real top expert on the ancient dragon star, he had a promising future. He was even sure to get a good ranking in this ranking battle. However, he was defeated by Jiang Chen, which was totally unbelievable. No. The current situation is too disadvantageous for me. It's better to leave. Chapter 4693. Losing a powerful helper like Tyrant Tianchen was a fatal blow to Li Kongyi. Although he had the upper hand over Jin Xiaoxiao, he had been waiting for Tyrant Tianchen to finish off Jiang Chen before coming to his aid. In that case, he would be able to get rid of Jin Xiaoxiao easily. However, the stalemate between the two of them wouldn't last long, because once Jiang Chen joined the fray, he would be in grave danger. I didn't expect the younger generation of the Golden Dragon tribe to be so ferocious. I was blind. Ha ha, Miss Xiaoxiao, I will leave first. Let's meet again another day. Ha! Li Kongyi turned around and left. However, Jiang Chen was already prepared. There was no way for Li Kongyi to leave. How could there be such a good thing in the world? Since it was a life-and-death battle, it must be fought to the end. If you want to leave first, have you asked us? Go back. Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword in his hand and descended from the sky. He almost slashed Li Kongyi's face. Li Kongyi was so scared that he hurriedly retreated. Jin Xiaoxiao was chasing him from behind. Li Kongyi could not do anything even if he had the fastest speed in the ancient dragon star. This time, it's your turn to run away. Jin Xiaoxiao sneered and said. Ba Tianchen's death had shocked her. The powerful talent that Jiang Chen had shown had even surpassed her. Ba Tianchen was an expert of the dinosaur tribe and even she could not catch up to him. Now that Jiang Chen had killed him, Li Kongyi would definitely not be able to escape if the two of them joined forces to fight against him. Ha ha ha, that's not good. No matter what, we can be considered as old friends. Miss Xiaoxiao, how about we each take a step back today? If the two of you really want to fight to the death with me, it won't be beneficial to the two of you. Don't forget that the two of you have also suffered quite a bit of damage. Is it really worth it to injure 1,000 of the enemy and 800 of your men? Li Kongyi said with a smile. He was good at judging the situation. At this time, both Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao were injured. Although he might not be a match for them together, it was still uncertain who would win the final battle. Your wishful thinking isn't bad. Unfortunately, I don't buy it. Even if I die, I will drag you down with me. If we were the ones who lost today, would you still say that? Humph. I think it's safest to nip the danger in the bud. Jiang Chen sneered at Li Kongyi. Li Kongyi's smile gradually disappeared. It seemed that this guy was really a hothead. He didn't even care about his life. That depends on whether you have the ability or not. Very well, I will fulfill your wish today. Li Kongyi Lung said. Jiang Chen, kill him. Don't hold back. A dog like him deserves to die. Jin Xiaoxiao also hated Li Kongyi to the extreme. This guy still wanted to flirt with her. He really didn't know what was good for him. Following Jin Xiaoxiao's powerful attack, Jiang Chen followed closely behind. The tacit understanding between the two of them was needless to say. They were facing Li Kongyi together. There was only one goal, and that was to kill Li Kongyi to eliminate their worries. You want to kill me? No way. Even if I can't beat you, I will run away. Li Kongyi sneered in his heart. However, in the face of Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao's sprint, he still decided to give it a try. If he won, he would get 2 Huiyuan beads. Moreover, the Huiyuan bead in Jiang Chen's hand represented the first place in the ranking battle. Such a temptation was great for Li Kongyi. The Huiyuan bead in Jiang Chen's hand was worth the risk for Li Kongyi. He didn't care about women like clothes, but who could be indifferent to such a big Huiyuan bead? Li Kongyi held the 9-foot Lingyun saber in his hand and cut through the thistles and thorns. Fighting against 2 people, his heart was also full of fighting spirit. He could either flee in embarrassment or take a gamble and soar to the sky. Since Ba Tianchen was dead, no one would compete with him. On the contrary, it made Li Kongyi feel that the clouds were dispelled. However, neither Jiang Chen nor Jin Xiaoxiao were easy to deal with. Although they were injured, in the face of a strong enemy, the strength and overbearingness they showed were not reduced at all. Jiang Chen and Li Kongyi's saber light and sword shadows constantly overlapped. Jin Xiaoxiao's figure was agile and incomparably sharp. The 3 people constantly exchanged blows. Li Kongyi finally felt powerless. The double suppression of Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao made him completely breathless for a moment. It was no wonder that even Ba Tianchen was killed by Jiang Chen. It seemed that this guy did have some skills. Li Kongyi's face was pale. He became more and more passive and his injuries also increased. Now that he was completely trapped by the 2 people, even if he had the advantage of speed, it was wishful thinking to escape as soon as possible. He must find an opportunity to escape. Li Kongyi retreated in defeat again and again. His heart was even more bitter. If this went on, he would definitely die. Therefore, he constantly looked for opportunities to break through. As long as he could escape from the 2 people's suppression, there would be a chance of survival. His original plan had completely failed. Not only did he not get the beauty back, but he also almost lost his life. He went for wool and came home shorn. Despair involuntarily arose in his heart. Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao also used all their skills. At this time, they could not casually fall down, but to deal with Li Kongyi, it was impossible to stop him without using some real skills. Jin Xiaoxiao was already a little out of breath. Jiang Chen's footsteps were disorderly, but in the face of Li Kongyi who wanted to break out of the encirclement like crazy, they could only clench their teeth and persevere. They would not let go until the last moment. Good chance. Li Kongyi's eyes lit up. Just when Jin Xiaoxiao and Jiang Chen relaxed, he hurriedly soared into the sky and wanted to escape. As long as he could escape from the 2 people's control, he would be a fish in the sea and a bird in the sky. Oh no! Jin Xiaoxiao's face slightly changed. At the moment when she could not continue her attack, Li Kongyi seized the opportunity to escape. This guy was known as the fastest winged dragon in the entire ancient dragon star. Once he returned to the sky, it would be as difficult as climbing up to the sky to catch him. Jiang Chen squinted his eyes and saw a stream of light descending from the sky. At this time, Li Kongyi was kicked back like a ball. He lay at the feet of Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao, dying. It's Fang Tong. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up. She did not expect that Fang Tong would pass by and kick Li Kongyi half to death. I didn't expect that we would meet again so soon. Xiaoxiao, are you okay? Fang Tong said with a smile. I'm fine. Thank you. Jin Xiaoxiao nodded slightly. At this moment, Jiang Chen's expression became cold and indifferent. Give me the chaotic source pearl. Fang Tong looked at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen had already taken Li Kongyi's chaotic source pearl. Give it to you? Chapter 4694. Jiang Chen, can you give this chaos origin orb to Fang Tong? I will definitely make it up to you later. Jin Xiaoxiao said in a low voice, feeling a little embarrassed. After all, this Chaos Origin Orb was obtained by Jiang Chen. It was indeed inappropriate for him to give it to Feng Tong at this moment. However, Jin Xiaoxiao was also thinking of the bigger picture. Feng Tong represented the Golden Dragon tribe. If all three of them could enter the top 10 of the ranking tournament, it would be greatly beneficial to the entire Golden Dragon tribe. One must know that only one member of the Golden Dragon tribe entered the ranking tournament 500 years ago. That was also the most miserable time for the Golden Dragon tribe. For Xiaoxiao's sake, this Chaos Origin Orb, Jiang Chen frowned. He did not blame Jin Xiaoxiao. After all, she was the princess of the Golden Dragon tribe. It was not wrong for her to think for the Golden Dragon tribe. Moreover, she had already said so much. If he still chose to ignore it, it would be too unreasonable. This was the ancient dragon star, and Jiang Chen still needed the Golden Dragon tribe's help. In short, he could not become enemies with the Golden Dragon tribe. No. You misunderstood. This small one is yours. I want the biggest one in your hand. Chaos Origin Orb. Feng Tong said with a smile and looked at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen sneered and shook his head. He kept the Chaos Origin Orb in his hand and his expression gradually turned cold. I gave you face, but you don't want it. It seems that Xiaoxiao has not seen through your wild ambition. Do you have the qualifications to take my Chaos Origin Orb? Feng Tong, what are you trying to do? Jin Xiaoxiao also sensed that something was wrong with Feng Tong. This guy actually wanted to snatch the Chaos Origin Orb in Jiang Chen's hand? Insatiable. Jin Xiaoxiao had never thought that Feng Tong would still point his spear at Jiang Chen in the end. Feng Tong. He is a member of our Golden Dragon tribe. Don't go overboard. A member of the Golden Dragon tribe? He. I will not admit that this guy's life or death has nothing to do with me. I only know that I am a member of the Golden Dragon tribe. I will fight for the honor of the Golden Dragon tribe. Feng Tong said righteously. His sharp gaze was directed at Jiang Chen. To put it bluntly, he wanted to snatch the Chaos Origin bead from Jiang Chen's hands. This fellow had a deep grudge with Jiang Chen, and Jin Xiaoxiao probably shouldn't have allowed the two of them to meet in the first place. Moreover, Feng Tong was very fond of her, and this was something Jin Xiaoxiao knew as well. However, matters of the heart couldn't be forced. It was precisely because of this that any man who had a relationship with her would become Feng Tong's target. This was why she hated Feng Tong more and more. In the past, Jin Xiaoxiao had liked Feng Tong. After all, he was the most outstanding person in the entire Golden Dragon tribe. However, he was too overbearing, which made Jin Xiaoxiao hate him more and more. They should have been the perfect couple in the Golden Dragon tribe, but Jin Xiaoxiao had her own dreams. She didn't want to be a canary. She wanted to be a super warrior that could travel the universe. She wanted to see the outside world. She didn't want to be cooped up in the ancient dragon star for the rest of her life. Xiaoxiao, shouldn't you be on my side at a time like this? We are a match made in heaven. We are the true members of the Golden Dragon tribe, and this fellow is just an outsider. Do you have to go against me for an outsider? He is just a withered cripple now. If I want to kill him, it will be as easy as flipping my palm. A wise man submits to circumstances. I don't want to make things difficult for you, but you must understand your own position, my most respected princess. Feng Tong sneered. He was undoubtedly trying to show Jin Xiaoxiao his strength, hoping that she would back off. It seems like you've got me for sure. Jiang Chen shook his head. That's right. You make me very unhappy. Ever since you came to the Golden Dragon tribe, I've been feeling disgusted. If I don't kill you, I won't be able to quench the hatred in my heart. Feng Tong said viciously. He couldn't wait to tear out Jiang Chen's tendons and bones. Since that's the case, there's nothing more to say. Xiaoxiao, I've already done my best. Unfortunately, he still wants the primal origin pearl in my hands and wants to kill me. Ha. Your Golden Dragon tribe is truly laughable. Jiang Chen laughed maniacally. Jin Xiaoxiao felt a little awkward. However, she still stood on Jiang Chen's side. Feng Tong had committed many unrighteous acts. This fellow had already reached the point of insanity. I'm sorry. Feng Tong, you're not fighting for the Golden Dragon tribe. You're discrediting our Golden Dragon tribe. Don't you know that? If you dare to touch a single hair on Jiang Chen's head, I won't let you off for the rest of my life. Jin Xiaoxiao said solemnly. TSK 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 TSK. What a touching scene of lovers parting. Do you think I care about that? It's enough for me to obtain you. I must obtain you. As for this fellow, I must kill him. Not even the heavenly emperor can stop me. Feng Tong straightforwardly said. Jin Xiaoxiao shook her head. The current Feng Tong was no longer the Feng Tong she knew in the past. The current him was becoming more and more frightening. He had become colder and colder, numb to killing. You bastard! Feng Tong, you're an unpardonable executioner. The Golden Dragon tribe feels ashamed because of you. Jin Xiaoxiao was trembling from anger. Right now, she was like a fish on the chopping block. Jiang Chen had nowhere to run. Isn't it all because of you? If it wasn't for you, would I have become like this? I won't allow anyone to approach you. Anyone. I love you. In this lifetime, you can only be my woman. Feng Tong roared furiously. With the 3-foot azure sword in his hand, he approached Jiang Chen step by step. Madman. You're a madman. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes were filled with despair. Don't find excuses for your selfishness and tyranny. You don't love anyone. The only person you love is yourself. Jiang Chen said Lung Lung. You don't have the right to judge me. Because you will become a dead man. Feng Tong looked at Jiang Chen with disdain. Once he killed Jiang Chen, everything would return to normal. Everything would return to normal, and he would be able to obtain the biggest chaotic origin pearl and become the champion of the ranking battle. Feng Tong smiled confidently. This time, he would become the pride of the Golden Dragon tribe. He would become the legend of the entire ancient dragon star. He wanted everyone to remember him. Arrogant. It seems that you are very confident in yourself. However, blind confidence will only lead you astray. There are many people who want to kill me. It depends on whether you have the ability to do so. If you want to kill me, you must be prepared to be killed. Even the Golden Dragon tribe will not stand a chance. Jiang Chen looked at Jin Xiaoxiao and said. Chapter 4695. Ha ha ha, that's easy for you to say. What a shameless boaster. The current you is just a little bird that can be pinched by anyone. Do you think that you can escape from my palm? The current you is just an arrow at the end of its flight. Do you really think that you can be my enemy? You're not qualified. Feng Tong's confident look was filled with domineering aura. Jin Xiaoxiao couldn't do anything about it. Her current injuries were very serious, and it was impossible for her to fight Feng Tong. Jiang Chen was also in a similar situation. His current situation was extremely precarious. If you want to kill him, you have to get past me first. Jin Xiaoxiao blocked in front of Jiang Chen. Hiding behind a woman. Looks like you're really a coward. Wahahaha. Feng Tong laughed wantonly. Jiang Chen. Leave quickly. I'll stop him. He won't dare to kill me. Jin Xiaoxiao said in a low voice. No need. Jin Xiaoxiao was slightly stunned. I don't want to keep this dog's life anymore. Killing him will eliminate my worries. As the saying goes, don't be afraid of thieves stealing, but be afraid of thieves remembering. Jiang Chen smiled, pushed Jin Xiaoxiao away, and faced Feng Tong. Not bad. This is what a man should be like. However, what awaits you is only death. Feng Tong unsheathed his sword and charged at Jiang Chen. His wild, mountain-lifting strength completely suppressed Jiang Chen. Jin Xiaoxiao's gaze was gloomy, and her expression was ugly. She couldn't understand why Jiang Chen insisted on fighting against Feng Tong. If this wasn't a moth flying into a flame, what was it? From the moment Jiang Chen saved her life, she already had this man in her heart. However, she wasn't good at expressing herself, and she didn't know what Jiang Chen was thinking. Therefore, Jin Xiaoxiao would never take the initiative to speak her mind. However, when Jiang Chen was in danger, she would still rush in front of Jiang Chen without hesitation. She didn't want Jiang Chen to suffer any harm. But now, Jiang Chen's actions made her feel puzzled. Where did he get his confidence from? He was already severely injured, and his strength had been greatly reduced. Feng Tong was already suppressing him in terms of cultivation. How could he win? However, doubts were just doubts. Jiang Chen had never disappointed her before. At this moment, she didn't continue rushing towards Jiang Chen. This was a battle between men, and it concerned his dignity. She could only watch silently from the side. Jiang Chen, you can't let anything happen to you. Feng Tong's sword was getting closer and closer to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's eyes were sharp, and he quickly retreated. He didn't want to confront Feng Tong head-on. His speed was extremely fast. He stepped on the heavenly dragon sword and flew in the sky. Do you only know how to run? It's not easy to be a deserter. Humph. Feng Tong sneered. Jiang Chen had been forced into a miserable state by him. At this time, he could only scatter and flee like a stray dog. As Feng Tong laughed, Jiang Chen's miserable state could be seen. The corners of Jiang Chen's mouth were incomparably cold. From the moment Feng Tong appeared, he had already begun to set up the Azura sword formation. He didn't have much strength left, and the Genesis Qi in his body was also very limited. Jiang Chen now only had one way, and that was to make Feng Tong lower his guard and use the Azura sword formation to kill him in one blow. If Jiang Chen was at his peak, he naturally wouldn't be afraid of Feng Tong, but now was a special time. After fighting with Ba Tianchen and Li Kongyi, Feng Tong had taken advantage of the situation to attack him with a proud look on his face, which made Jiang Chen very unhappy. Moreover, even if Jiang Chen didn't kill Feng Tong would always be watching him, wanting to kill him. Jiang Chen could only choose to strike first. Even if the Golden Dragon clan blamed him, there was nothing he could do. Run. Why don't you run? Ha ha ha. Boy, it's time for you to die. Feng Tong's imposing manner was like a rainbow, and his sword qi buzzed endlessly. He was at the peak of the 5th layer of the Star Emperor realm. His strength wasn't inferior to Ba Tianchen's, but Jiang Chen didn't want to waste any more time with him. Run. Look back. You should be the one running now, right? Jiang Chen sneered. His expression was as usual, and with a flick of his palm, the heavenly dragon sword rose, heading straight for Feng Tong. When Feng Tong turned around, his expression abruptly changed. 18 divine weapons and heavenly swords descended from the sky, and with the heavenly dragon sword as the eye of the formation, the Azura sword formation had already been set up. Terrifying sword qi crisscrossed, completely covering Feng Tong's sword qi. What a terrifying sword formation! Feng Tong sucked in a breath of cold air as his heart turned cold. These sword qi were too terrifying, and he could already feel that he was in imminent danger. In less than 10 seconds, Feng Tong was overwhelmed by the endless sword qi in the Ashura sword formation. At that moment, Jin Xiaoxiao realized what Jiang Chen was relying on. This guy had too many trump cards. He was only at the 2nd heaven of the Star Emperor realm, but he could make countless superior cultivators bow down to him. Ba Tianchen and Li Kongyi were both famous geniuses on the ancient Dragon Star, but they were not worth mentioning in front of Jiang Chen. At that moment, even though he was at the end of his tether, he still showed no mercy to Feng Tong. The sword formation was completed, which made Jin Xiaoxiao's blood freeze. Not to mention Feng Tong, even a master in the 6th heaven of the Star Emperor realm might not be able to escape alive. The sword qi within this sword formation had already reached an infinite level. Infinite. Infinite. All swords returned to the void. This sort of pervasive sword qi was enough to cause one to feel despair. Kill! Jiang Chen shouted angrily. The murderous intent in the Ashura sword formation became stronger again. Feng Tong was completely invincible. He could not resist it at all. At that moment, Feng Tong was filled with despair. Xiao, help me. Help me, Xiao. Feng Tong was exhausted, but he was already seriously injured. His eyes were full of fear. The Ashura sword formation was his nightmare. Jin Xiaoxiao stared at him silently. Jin Xiaoxiao stared at the scene silently. This scene made her feel rather bitter and complicated. The #1 genius of the Golden Dragon clan, Feng Tong, had now become a real stray dog. Logically speaking, she should be pleading with Jiang Chen. After all, he was the hope of the Golden Dragon clan. However, Jin Xiaoxiao didn't know what to say because Feng Tong's goal was to kill Jiang Chen. How could she have the face to beg Jiang Chen to let Feng Tong go? Jin Xiaoxiao was not being selfish. She was only doing this out of consideration for her clan. Was the hope of the Golden Dragon tribe really going to be destroyed? There was no way Jiang Chen would show any mercy, because once he did, he would be nurturing a tiger that would invite calamity. Jiang Chen wanted to kill him, but Jiang Chen had to spare his life. How could there be such a thing in this world? Jiang Chen knew that Jin Xiaoxiao was hesitating, but he would not show the slightest mercy. Cut! Jiang Chen's palm moved, and the Ashura sword formation launched its final charge. Sword chi crisscrossed the area, causing the surrounding mountains to crumble and the ground to crack. The entire area had turned into ruins. Feng Tong's cries for help rang out incessantly within the sword formation. In the end, he slowly disappeared into the forest. Uffed! Jiang Chen vomited a mouthful of blood and ultimately fell to the ground. He held onto the heavenly dragon sword, but there was not a trace of Genesis Chi left in his body. The Ashura sword formation had drained all the Genesis Chi in his body. However, Feng Tong had also been completely torn to pieces by his sword sheath. Jin Xiaoxiao blankly stared at this scene. She did not know whether she should feel pity for the Golden Dragon tribe or feel happy for Jiang Chen. We shouldn't stay here for long. Let's leave quickly. Chapter 4696. Half a month's time passed by in a blink of an eye. The deadline of 1 month was getting closer and closer. It was unusually quiet during this period of time. Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao did not encounter any danger, not even a single wild beast. However, the more this was the case, the more they did not dare to lower their guard. The entire mountain range and dense forest was abnormally quiet, just like the calm before the storm. As long as they were able to safely guard the primal chaos orb in their hands for the remaining few days, this ranking battle would truly come to an end. The best thing to do now is to find a place to hide. Jin Xiaoxiao said. Do you have a pig brain? Hide yourself and not move. Others might not be able to discover you, but can they not discover this primal origin orb? Don't forget what the Eternal Dragon Clan's patriarch said. Within a 10-mile radius, this primal origin orb will radiate its own aura. We can't conceal it even if we want to. Jiang Chen rolled his eyes and said, Yes, I've thought too simply. Jin Xiaoxiao bitterly laughed. Jiang Chen's words were not without reason. Therefore, they absolutely could not sit and wait for death. They had to quickly make their move, and definitely could not bide their time in one place. Once others discovered them, a fierce battle would be unavoidable. Although they might encounter danger during the process of making their move, moving without a fixed direction would definitely create a false impression to others. Even if they wanted to capture them, it would definitely be extremely difficult. The two of them had gone through a series of battles. Now, not only had they recovered their strength, they had even improved quite a bit. However, they still could not let their guard down. The slightest mistake could lead to a fatal disaster. It was better to be safe than sorry. Jiang Chen's heart was solemn, and he did not dare to be careless. The primal origin orb in his hands was definitely the most important one, and would definitely attract even more experts to fight for it. If anything were to happen to him, this treasure would fall into the hands of others. He absolutely could not let this duck that was already in his mouth fly away. The two of them advanced day and night, seemingly not resting at all. Day after day, gradually, there were less than 3 days left of the 1-month deadline. A knowing smile appeared on Jin Xiaoxiao's face. Finally, they were about to obtain victory. Their hard work had not been in vain. It was not easy to obtain. Jiang Chen's gaze was like a sword as he scanned his surroundings. At this moment, he felt a formless danger approaching him. Let's go. The feeling of being shrouded in pressure was extremely clear to Jiang Chen. He had fallen into desperate situations countless times. This kind of superhuman perception was hard to describe. However, Jiang Chen believed that this was definitely not an alarmist talk. Danger was approaching. Is it dangerous? Jin Xiaoxiao was startled. She did not dare to believe what Jiang Chen had said. She did not feel uneasy at all. Every blade of grass and every tree was emitting a calm and peaceful aura. Hurry up and go. We can't stay here for long. Jiang Chen didn't have time to say anything. He pulled Jin Xiaoxiao's hand and hurriedly flew into the distance. I'm afraid it's too late to leave now. A cold voice rang out. Within a radius of 10 miles, it reverberated endlessly, lingering in the air. Whew! Jin Xiaoxiao's heart sank. It seemed that Jiang Chen's perception was far sharper than hers. In an instant, 3 figures had appeared in front of them. They were dressed in black robes with an intimidating aura. Jin Xiaoxiao's face was extremely gloomy. What was supposed to come had finally come. It seemed that it would not be as easy as they had imagined to keep the Chaos Source Orb in their hands. Mo Chen. Jin Xiaoxiao gnashed her teeth. Mo Chen was one of the top 3 experts of the Eternal Dragon Clan. His strength had reached the 6th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. He was unfathomable. Even the two people behind him were at the peak of the fifth heaven of the Star Emperor realm. Once they fought, they would have almost no chance of winning. I have a Chaos Source Orb here. I'll give it to you. How about it? Jiang Chen said with a smile, playing with the Chaos Source Orb he had obtained from Li Kongyi. This thing is not attractive to me at all. You know what I want. Don't play dumb with me. Mo Chen stared at Jiang Chen coldly. Both of them were well aware of the situation. I'm afraid we can't do that. Our sincerity is already very good. But if you insist on fighting, we'll have to fight you to the end. Jiang Chen shrugged and said calmly, yawning like a toad. You talk big. A young man wants to fight with me. It seems that you're overestimating yourself. Mo Chen squinted and said in a daze. Jiang Chen was only at the second heaven of the Star Emperor realm. Even Jin Xiaoxiao was no match for him. For him, this battle was not a challenge at all. It seems that we can't run away this time. Jin Xiaoxiao glanced at Jiang Chen, feeling a sense of farewell. These three men weren't people they could fight. If they were defeated in this battle, it would mean certain death for them. We have to fight them as long as there's a chance of survival. If we really can't do it, I have a way to escape. Jiang Chen looked at Jin Xiaoxiao calmly. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up. This guy still has a trick up his sleeve? Then let's run now? Jin Xiaoxiao said in a deep voice. I want the Chaos Source Orb in their hands. Jin Xiaoxiao rolled her eyes. So you're going after someone else's stuff. I'm worried about your safety, but you're thinking about the treasure in someone else's hands. What? Have you decided to hand it over? Mo Chen said calmly. Yes, then come and get it on your knees. Jiang Chen said with a smile. How dare you trick me? Mo Chen's eyes turned cold. The two people behind him were eager to try as well. Their faces were extremely gloomy. Shameless B****. Kill them. With a wave of Mo Chen's hand, the two experts at the peak of the fifth heaven of the Star Emperor realm, Mod and Mo Gu, arrived in an instant. They were resolute and aggressive. Mo Chen didn't even need to do anything. The two of them were enough to kill Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao. Watch out! Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao looked at each other. The two of them fought their own battles against Mod and Mo Gu. Jiang Chen stood up with his sword and faced Mod without hesitation. He raised his sword proudly to the sky, his aura surging. The charging momentum of the infinite sword was unstoppable. The suppression of 3 levels was a piece of cake for Jiang Chen. Mod's eyes were sharp and murderous. A mere Star Emperor realm in the second heaven could be taken care of in minutes. However, he didn't expect Jiang Chen's charge to be so terrifying. Even he had to go all out. The two of them fought for a long time. It was hard to tell who would win. Chapter 4697. The battle between Jin Xiaoxiao and Mo Gu seemed to be at a disadvantage, but at least they were still able to stabilize the situation. Jiang Chen's limitless sword was an eye-opener for Mo Chen. This guy was indeed a master who pretended to be a pig to eat a tiger. Such a powerful technique was unimaginable. Jin Xiaoxiao was very anxious. At this moment, Mo Chen had yet to make a move. Once that guy made a move, it would be an apocalyptic disaster. Is that all you've got? Jiang Chen was unruffled. The sword chi became more and more terrifying, one after another. 25th blade. 26th blade. 27th blade. The limitless sword was endless. Along with the limitless sword's charge, Mod retreated continuously. The injuries on his body were getting more and more serious. His face was full of shock. Jiang Chen's strength had completely exceeded his imagination. Facing the heavy attacks of the limitless sword, he had already become difficult to move. Kill! Jiang Chen's voice was like a great bell. With a roar, Mod lost his previous arrogance. He was forced to retreat by the heavenly dragon sword and rolled down the mountain peak. Rays of light and shadows filled the air, tearing his clothes. He was covered in wounds and blood, which scared Mod to death. Trash! Mo Chen frowned and said in a low voice. Jiang Chen's technique was indeed not bad, but it was impossible for him to retreat. Although Mo Chen had already been defeated, it was just the beginning for him. The Patriarch had already given them the first-ranked Chaos Source Orb. If they still could not get it, they would definitely not be able to escape. To them, this was not only the first-ranked Chaos Source Orb, but also the glory and belief of the Eternal Dragon Clan. They must get this Chaos Source Orb. MOD snorted and glared at Jiang Chen. He bared his fangs and turned his spearhead to Jin Xiaoxiao. It was enough for Mo Chen to deal with Jiang Chen. If he and Mo Gu joined forces, Jin Xiaoxiao would definitely not be able to escape. It seems that your Eternal Dragon Clan is not that great. Jiang Chen was high-spirited and said with a cold smile. Ignorant brat, today, I will show you how strong the true Eternal Dragon Clan is. Mo Chen roared furiously. With a shake of his body, the black dragon turned into a clump of black mist and soared into the sky. The 300-meter-long black dragon coiled in the sky, causing the entire sky to darken. It gave off a feeling of shortness of breath. Mo Chen's dragon might rippled, his aura unparalleled. The experts of the Eternal Dragon Clan were truly extraordinary. Jiang Chen did not dare to be negligent. He hurriedly cast Dragon Transformation and unleashed all his means. It's all up to you, Heavenly Dragon Sword. Jiang Chen grasped the Heavenly Dragon Sword tightly and soared upwards. His strength was also raised to the limit. However, at this time, Mo Chen did not expect that his unparalleled dragon might had no effect on Jiang Chen at all. This guy was really abnormal. However, even if he had 3 heads and 6 arms, Mo Chen must kill him today. Jiang Chen and Mo Chen exchanged blows in an instant. His long sword was like frost. The sword chi was 100 meters long. As he clashed with Mo Chen, he cut through the void and the entire sky became dark. The seemingly small Jiang Chen entered and exited 3 times. He held his sword and stood upright. He was not inferior to Mo Chen at all. Although there was a huge difference in cultivation between the two, it was not a problem for Jiang Chen at all. He went all out and fought with Mo Chen for a long time. Mo Chen constantly swung his huge dragon body, smashing through the mountains one after another. The surrounding mountains and boulders rolled down. It felt like the mountains were collapsing and the earth was cracking. The momentum was incomparably great. Today I will crush you alive. Mo Chen sneered. Waves of terrifying dragon might shocked Jin Xiaoxiao, MOD and the others. Jiang Chen was completely shrouded in it. He felt that it was impossible to escape. Dragon Vein Power. Jiang Chen roared and waved his sword. The 9th grade Dragon Vein aura instantly soared and filled the entire void. How is this possible? This is 9th grade Dragon Vein? Gosh. MOD and Mo Gu exchanged glances with each other. Their hearts were in turmoil. They had never imagined that someone could reach the 9th grade Dragon Vein. This was simply a fantasy. Even the patriarch of the Eternal Dragon Clan only had an 8th grade Dragon Vein. And Mo Chen only had a 7th grade Dragon Vein. Feeling Jiang Chen's continuous rise, the Dragon Vein power that broke through the sky like mushrooms after the rain made Mo Chen feel like he was fighting head-on. A guy at the 2nd heaven of the Star Emperor realm could force him to this step. It was too abnormal. Jiang Chen's aura kept getting stronger, stronger, and stronger. He already had a feeling that he couldn't suppress it anymore. This wasn't good news for Mo Chen. Even if you have 9th grade Dragon Vein, you will have to kneel today. Mo Chen's dragon body kept shaking. His dragon shadow changed endlessly. He bared his fangs and brandished his claws. He roared and crushed the void with absolute suppression, facing Jiang Chen. Soaring Dragon Shadow. The 7 black dragons turned into layers of light and shadow, advancing side by side. Jiang Chen was as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Mo Chen exerted all his skills, determined to kill Jiang Chen in one move. Even the 9th grade Dragon Vein seemed to be unable to resist Mo Chen at this moment. It was like trying to put out a burning cart of firewood with a cup of water. Jiang Chen. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. She had been suppressed to the point that she had no chance of winning. But at least she could hold on with difficulty. However, Jiang Chen had already been annihilated by Mo Chen's Soaring Dragon Shadow. No one can escape from my Soaring Dragon Shadow. The 7 black dragons kept entangling with each other. The void collapsed inch by inch. Jiang Chen was completely in a passive position, with only a slim chance of survival. It's a pity that you ran into me. A cold voice rang out from the void, causing everyone to hold their breaths. How could it be Mo Chen? You are still alive? Ancient Soaring Dragon Skill. Break out. Reverse Dragon Scale. Jiang Chen took out the Reverse Dragon Scale. That was the treasure of the Eternal Dragon Clan. It was the goal of their life, and also the strongest form of the Eternal Dragon Clan. Those who possessed the reverse dragon scale were the chosen ones of the Eternal Dragon Clan. Emo Chen subconsciously retreated, but Jiang Chen's strength soared once again. His aura expanded to an unstoppable level. Jiang Chen swung his sword, causing blood to flow. The reverse dragon scale combined with his 9th-grade dragon vein and the shocking attack of the limitless sword. Emo Chen's expression changed completely. There was only one thought in his mind. Escape. The reverse dragon scale was an unreachable existence for Emo Chen and the other Eternal Dragon Clan members. The suppression of a superior made them feel an indescribable fear. I'm afraid it's too late to escape now, Jiang Chen said faintly. The pressure brought by the reverse dragon scale was unimaginable. Chapter 4698. MOD and MO sucked in a breath of cold air. At this moment, they only wanted to escape and had no intention to fight at all. To the Eternal Dragon Tribe, the reverse scale of a dragon could only tremble. But of course, Jiang Chen would not let them go. He swung his sword at them, leaving them no chance to escape. At this moment, facing the suppression of Jiang Chen's dragon prestige, they could only tremble in fear. Even though they knew that they were no match for Jiang Chen, they could not just sit still and wait for death. In the end, under Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword, they were scared out of their wits and died without a burial place. Dragon blood splattered and the entire sky became silent. Smoke lingered and the smell of blood filled the air. Jiang Chen's face was a little pale. He kept his heavenly dragon sword and was drenched in sweat. The reverse dragon scale was powerful, but it consumed a lot of energy. It was as if his body was hollowed out. At least they were safe after killing these 3 people. At this time, Jiang Chen was pleasantly surprised to find that all 3 of them had a Chaos Origin orb. It was a great surprise. He thought that there would only be 1 orb, but it was a full harvest, which made Jiang Chen feel gratified. Jin Xiaoxiao was out of danger, but she was also close to death. However, at this moment, she was full of doubts about Jiang Chen's identity. She thought that he was just an alien who had fallen to such a state. She did not expect him to be from the Eternal Dragon Tribe. Who else in the Eternal Dragon Tribe could possess the reverse dragon scale? Who are you? Where are you from? What is your purpose in coming to the ancient dragon star? Jin Xiaoxiao said in a deep voice. Purpose. Jiang Chen smiled. What do you think my purpose is? If I had a purpose, why would I go to the weakest golden dragon tribe? Why couldn't I choose the proud sky dragon tribe or the dinosaur tribe? Who told you that those with the reverse dragon scale must be from the Eternal Dragon Tribe? Do you think that I'm full of conspiracy? If I really am from the Eternal Dragon Tribe, why would I kill these geniuses of the Eternal Dragon Tribe? Isn't it too much of a price for me to kill so many Eternal Dragon Clan geniuses just for a so-called absurd conspiracy? Jiang Chen's consecutive questions rendered Jin Xiaoxiao speechless. Under the interrogation of her soul, Jin Xiaoxiao realized that she had been too nervous. She had been wholeheartedly focused on the Golden Dragon Tribe. Jiang Chen's reverse scale was like a time bomb to her that could explode at any time. Jiang Chen was right. If he was really a member of the Eternal Dragon Clan, there was no need for him to mingle with him at all. Wouldn't that be too degrading? Moreover, Jiang Chen's strength had also made her extremely speechless. This fellow had completely exceeded everyone's understanding. To be able to surpass 4 levels and kill a genius of the Dragon Clan, he was definitely not someone easy to deal with. Sorry, I was too sensitive, Jin Xiaoxiao said embarrassedly. On the other hand, Jiang Chen had already saved her countless times, yet she still doubted him. It was indeed a little unscrupulous. Forget it. It's nothing. It's already extraordinary that I have the reverse scale. However, I do have a part of the Dragon Clan's bloodline in me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have reached the 9th grade dragon vein. Jiang Chen shrugged and didn't take it seriously. Jin Xiaoxiao's suspicion wasn't unreasonable. Now, they had to leave this place as soon as possible. Now that the ranking battle was coming to an end, and he had killed 3 experts of the Eternal Dragon Clan in a row, this time, he was bound to set off a frenzy in the High Sun Mountain range. Let's go. Jin Xiaoxiao nodded slightly, and the 2 of them quickly left this place. Finally, when Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao's strength had completely recovered, the sun rose 1 month later. At the end of White Bamboo Peak, the patriarchs of the 4 dragon clans were already welcoming their triumphant return. I wonder who will be the first this time. Han Che said with a chuckle. His eyes narrowed slightly, full of expectation. This time, it's definitely Patriarch Mo. There's no doubt about it. Lan Yu said with a smile, but he was a little unwilling. However, who asked them to have the advantage in numbers? That's not for sure. Who knows, this ranking battle might give everyone a surprise. Anyone could be the final winner. Jin Yi-bai was in high spirits, but he didn't dare to agree. Patriarch Jin is right. Everything has to be sealed before a conclusion can be made. Nobody knows who the final winner will be. However, this scene will be revealed soon. Mo Xiaolong said faintly. His face was full of smiles, completely not worried about the experts of the Eternal Dragon Clan. This time, they would thoroughly understand the gap between them and the Eternal Dragon Clan. Look, it's out, it's out. It's my Ao Tian Dragon Clan's Ao Yunlong. Han Che's eyes lit up, incomparably excited. Ao Yunlong was in high spirits, and his eyes were like golden crystals. His appearance brought a lot of pressure to the Golden Dragon Clan and the Dinosaur Clan. How is it, Yunlong? Han Che asked impatiently. Patriarch, fortunately, I didn't fail. 8th. Ao Yunlong said. The Chaos Source Pearl quietly appeared in his palm, but his eyes flashed with a hint of unwillingness. Not bad, not bad. Ha ha ha, 8th is also not bad. This time you should take the lead. Han Che waved his hand, signaling him to leave first. One after another, 7 or 8 people walked out from White Bamboo Peak. There were people from all 4 clans, but all of them silently shook their heads, their faces ugly. The people of my Eternal Dragon Clan finally came out. Mo Xiaolong said with a smile. 3 people of the Eternal Dragon Clan walked out from White Bamboo Peak together. Patriarch, the 3 of them said in unison. Their imposing manner and sharp eyes made many disciples of the other clans shake their heads and sigh, feeling that they couldn't catch up. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Apart from Mo Xiaolong, Jin Yi-bai, Han Che, and Lan Yu all held their breaths. This was a true expert. It seemed that the Eternal Dragon Clan would once again come out first. After waiting for a long time, Jin Yi-bai and Lan Yu's faces were the ugliest. At least Han Che's proud Sky Dragon Clan had Ao Yunlong, but the disciples of their clans still hadn't come out. Why aren't they coming out yet? Lan Yu frowned. Don't tell me they can't come out? Ha ha. If they're a commander without an army, it'll be too ugly. Han Che said with a smile that didn't seem like a smile. Shut your crow's mouth. Lan Yu said coldly. Jin Yi-bai didn't say anything, but he wasn't any more relaxed than Lan Yu. Now that his daughter was still inside, she wouldn't be in any danger, right? And Feng Tong, whom he had high hopes on, still hadn't appeared. After waiting for a long time, Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao finally came out. Jin Yi-bai's eyes lit up, and he relaxed a lot. Regardless of whether they obtained a ranking or not, at least nothing happened to his precious daughter. That was his greatest relief. Father. Chapter 4699. Tell us, what rank did you get? Jin Yi-bai was even more impatient, anxiously waiting. 7th. Hearing Jin Xiaoxiao's words, Han Che's face turned ugly. We got 8th, but you're 7th. On the other hand, Lan Yu's face was as red as a pig's liver. No one from their dinosaur tribe had gotten the Chaos Source Pearl. Only 3 of them had gotten it, Ba Tianchen and Claude. He was more anxious than anyone else. It's not easy for Jiang Chen to come back alive. The most important thing is to participate, Jin Yi-bai said with a smile. I got it too. Jiang Chen said helplessly. What? You got it too? Jin Yi-bai wasn't the only one who found it hard to believe. Even Mo Xiaolong, Han Che, and Lan Yu widened their eyes. Many experts around them looked disdainful. They didn't believe it. He was only in the 2nd sky of the Star Emperor realm. Could he really get the Chaos Source Pearl? Even if he got it, could he really keep it? 10th. Jiang Chen said and took out a Chaotic Origin Pearl. Everyone's face was filled with shock. However, the 10th place was already enough. To Jin Yi-bai, this was enough to suppress Lan Yu and Han Che. This fella really made him proud. The person whom he looked down upon the most had obtained the Chaotic Origin Pearl, while Feng Tong, whom he had high hopes for, did not appear. What's the hurry? Haste makes waste. Aren't there 4 more Chaos Source Pearls? Lan Yu said in a low voice, but he was panicking inside. Only his dinosaur tribe was left without an army. None of them could get into the top 10. This is the 9th, this is the 6th, this is the 5th, this is the 1st. When Jiang Chen took out the other 4 chaotic origin pearls, everyone was dumbfounded, including Mo Xiaolong of the Eternal Dragon Clan. He looked at Jiang Chen in disbelief, especially Lan Yu, who felt like he had been slapped in the face. He felt worse than eating a fly. How could this be? This is impossible. Lan Yu couldn't accept this. The result of the ranking battle had already been revealed. Regardless of whether the dinosaur tribe sent out their experts or not, it was destined that none of the dinosaur tribe would be in the top 10. Han Che shook his head with a bitter expression. When they were mocking Genie Bai and the Golden Dragon Clan, they had never imagined that such a thing would happen. To him, it was like a dream. Only Mo Xiaolong's face was ashen and extremely ugly. According to his calculations, at least 5 of the 10 Chaos Source Orbs should belong to them. Furthermore, the top 3 definitely could not be left outside. However, he had not calculated it well this time. Even the Chaos Source Orb ranked first had been obtained by Jiang Chen. The Golden Dragon Clan had completely raised their heads. The value of a Chaos Origin bead was not small. It belonged to whoever obtained it. The number 1 Chaos Origin bead was definitely comparable to the other 9 Chaos Origin beads. In Mo Xiaolong's opinion, it was a great humiliation for someone from another race to obtain it. Damn it! What a bunch of good-for-nothings. Mo Xiaolong cursed in his heart. His face was as cold as frost. I originally only had 1, but they insisted on taking it from me. I had no choice but to snatch the Chaos Source Orb from them. I was really in a passive position. Jiang Chen said with an innocent expression. Everyone's lips twitched slightly. This guy was simply pretending to be innocent after getting a bargain. However, he had 5 Chaos Source Orbs in his hands. He had every right to brag. Genie Bai's face was already blooming with joy. This was even more exciting than a dream. Jiang Chen was only at the 2nd heaven of the Star Emperor realm, but he had obtained 5 Chaos Source Orbs all by himself. Moreover, the most valuable Chaos Source Orb was also obtained by him. This honor was something to be proud of for the Golden Dragon Clan. This time, Genie Bai was extremely excited. He could finally hold his head high. Damn it, I'm finally awesome. Ha 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 ha. Genie Bai was indescribably happy. It was even better than eating honey. At this moment, he had completely forgotten whether Feng Tong had come out or not. Jiang Chen had brought glory to the Golden Dragon Clan for 5,000 years. Lan Yu and Han Che's faces were gloomy, but they were speechless. As for Lan Yu, his face had turned green. He no longer had any extravagant hopes. As long as the experts of the dinosaur clan could return safely, everything would be fine. It seems that sometimes when luck comes, it really can't be stopped. What do you think, Chief Lan? Genie Bai wanted nothing more than to announce this to the world. At this moment, how could Lan Yu still have the mood to talk to him? He was so angry that his entire body was trembling. With a cold snort, he gazed at the white bamboo peak. In his heart, there was still a sliver of hope. Hopefully they could return alive. If not, their losses would be disastrous. Jiang Chen, have you thought about the matter I told you before? Are you going to settle it when you return home? Jiang Chen asked with a smile on his face. Genie Bai smiled as he looked at Jiang Chen. The more he looked at him, the more he liked him. What matter? Jiang Chen was stunned. Stop playing dumb. Of course, it's about your marriage with Xiao Xiao. Do you think my daughter is not good enough for you? Isn't this double happiness? Genie Bai almost wanted to hold Jiang Chen in his palms and touch him. His joy was indescribable. Dad, what are you talking about? Jean Xiao Xiao stamped her feet as a blush flashed across her face. Chief, let's talk about this later. Jiang Chen's face was filled with awkwardness. You just escaped from death and you're planning to kill me in the Golden Dragon Clan to be your son-in-law? You're really ambitious. I don't want to die of old age in this ancient dragon star. Stop looking. There's no sign of life in the entire white bamboo peak now. Mo Xiaolong said in a low voice. Everyone's eyes were on him. What? It can't be. Chief Mo, are you sure you're not mistaken? Lan Yu's heart skipped a beat. There's no sign of life in White Bamboo Peak. Does that mean everyone from the dinosaur clan died here? This was like a bolt from the blue. Do you think I would lie to you? Mo Xiaolong snorted. Han Che's eyes flashed. Does that mean everyone from the dinosaur clan is dead? There were less than 20 of them, and that's all of them? What a pity. Feng Tong died in White Bamboo Peak too. Ji Niba shook his head. A hint of sadness flashed across his face. However, compared to the result of the ranking battle, he did not care at all. Chapter 4700. Lan Yu and Han Che were filled with resentment towards Jiang Chen. If nothing unexpected happened, the deaths of their clansmen were definitely related to him. This ranking battle had consumed a lot of the geniuses of their clans. In the next 1,000 years, it would be hard to find such a peerless genius. More importantly, they had lost all their face. Whether it was the dinosaur clan or the proud sky dragon clan, they all hated Jiang Chen to the core. Mo Xiaolong became even more furious. Even though he was extremely unwilling in his heart, as the leader of a clan, he had nothing to say at this moment. After all, this ranking battle was personally supervised by him. Moreover, the final outcome was something that the 4 great dragon clans had to abide by. No matter how many people died, he had to uphold justice. At least that was how it was on the surface. Since Jiang Chen monopolized 5 primal origin orbs, and the first-ranked primal origin orb is also in his hands, then he deserves to be the first. Mo Xiaolong said in a deep voice, his voice reverberating through the entire High Sun Mountain range. Many clans were unwilling, especially Lan Yu and Han Che. However, since things had come to this, they could only choose to remain silent. What else could he do? Interrogate Jiang Chen? Fight him to the death? Obviously, it was not realistic. Thank you, Leader Mo. The 400 million Grade 5 Origin Stones should be mine. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Everyone looked at him with a face that was asking for a beating. That's right. Here are the 400 million Origin Stones. Here. Mo Xiaolong waved his hand, throwing the storage ring in his hand to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen glanced at it. It was indeed 400 million Grade 5 Origin Stones. This was simply a huge fortune. Currently, he had close to 1 billion Grade 5 Origin Stones in his hands, and so many Primal Origin Orbs. After leaving the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss this time, he would use all his strength to try and repair the teleportation formation. Regardless of success or failure, he still had to try. He could not just sit and wait for death. Everyone looked at Jiang Chen. Their eyes were filled with envy and jealousy. The first place of the ranking battle, the reward of 400 million Origin Stones was enough to make people's eyes red. First place wasn't just a simple ranking, it was also the fact that they had taken all the Dawn Stones. In fact, the glory of the 4 great dragon tribes would be remembered by everyone. Mo Xiaolong had schemed and schemed for a long time. He had originally been prepared to monopolize the top 5, but he hadn't expected that these 400 million Origin Stones would end up in someone else's pocket. How could he not be angry? It was to the extent that he wished for nothing more than to tear out Jiang Chen's tendons and bones to vent the hatred in his heart. However, as the leader of the Eternal Dragon Tribe, there were many things that he could only think about. If he wanted to put them into action, he couldn't do it casually. Tomorrow, I will send all of you into the Earth Dragon's ancient abyss. I hope that all of you will be able to improve your cultivation there. Mo Xiaolong's expression was cold and dignified. He glanced at Jiang Chen, causing him to feel extremely uncomfortable. This fellow, what a powerful aura, what a domineering gaze. It was obvious that Mo Xiaolong was not friendly to Jiang Chen because he had snatched away the things that should have belonged to their Eternal Dragon clan, wealth, and glory. Many thanks, Patriarch. Many thanks, Patriarch Mo. Everyone retreated. The next morning would be the day they would enter the Earth Dragon's ancient abyss to cultivate. After a short rest, they would begin their true training. Everyone had racked their brains trying to cultivate in the Earth Dragon's ancient abyss. It was obvious that the benefits would definitely be indescribable. The 4 Dragon Clan patriarchs retreated one after the other. However, at this moment, Jiang Chen could clearly feel hostility from all directions. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes darkened. Lang Lang stared at the surrounding people. They were all moving towards Jiang Chen. Kid, I feel that you're very interesting. With so many Chaos Origin Pearls, you better keep them well. Ao Yunlong looked at Jiang Chen with a smile. His eyes were filled with mockery. Do you want to fight here, Ao Yunlong? Jean Xiaoxiao coldly said. Protect yourself first. If I wanted to kill you, it would be as easy as pie, let alone him. Ao Yunlong indifferently said. After finishing, he turned around and left. From the looks of it, Mo Chen, Mod, and Mo Gu have all died in your hands. The three experts of the Eternal Dragon Clan walked towards Jiang Chen with gloomy expressions. The triangular-eyed youth in the lead said with a feminine expression. What do you think? Jiang Chen asked in return. There were many people who wanted him dead, but most of them had already gone to hell. Good. Interesting. I hope you can still say such words in the Earth Dragon's ancient abyss tomorrow. Mo Qi glanced at Jiang Chen. A small tree will not flow if it is not trimmed, and a person will not be trimmed. Ha ha ha. Tomorrow, we brothers will teach you how to cultivate in the Earth Dragon's ancient abyss. Ha ha ha. Mo Ri sneered, snorting disdainfully at Jiang Chen, as if he did not care at all. Don't go too far. Cultivating in the Earth Dragon's ancient abyss is not a place for you to behave atrociously. It is not a place for you to train. If you want to kill someone, you should first consider yourself. Jean Xiaoxiao angrily said. These guys completely disregarded any rules. In their eyes, there was only the strong and the weak, victory and defeat. Jean Xiaoxiao, don't be unconvinced that you are naive. The Earth Dragon's ancient abyss is so vast that even our patriarch has not explored it. Isn't it normal for accidents to happen in such a dangerous place? Ha 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 ha, if you want to live a comfortable life, then go back to your Eternal Dragon Clan. Of course, this Chaos Source bead must still be left behind. Mo Guang said mockingly. You guys. Jean Xiaoxiao was infuriated, but she knew that these guys would kill without batting an eyelid. At this moment, she also became hesitant. If these bastards really wanted to fight to the death with Jiang Chen, then it was very likely that they would not be able to walk out of the Earth Dragon's ancient abyss. That cultivation ground would very likely become a burial ground. Jiang Chen, on the other hand, did not care. Everyone gradually retreated, leaving behind an anxious Jean Xiaoxiao. Right now, she was already thinking of retreating. It was not that she was afraid, but she was worried that Jiang Chen would be ganged up on by these guys. Including Ao Yunlong, there were 4 sixth heavenly layer star emperors. Even if Jiang Chen had 3 heads and 6 arms, it was impossible for him to be their opponent. These guys had clearly made preparations. Jiang Chen had killed someone from the Eternal Dragon Clan, so they had already made Jiang Chen their primary target. Jiang Chen, are you really going? Jean Xiaoxiao had a nervous expression as she looked at Jiang Chen hesitantly. Do you think I shouldn't go? Jiang Chen asked in return. However, even though you killed Mo Chen, the other party has at least 3 experts in the 6th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. That Ao Yunlong doesn't look like a pushover either. Who knows, he might point his spear at you. Jean Xiaoxiao continued. So what? I, Jiang Chen, have never been afraid. Moreover, entering the Earth Dragon's ancient abyss this time will probably be a great opportunity for me to grow. If I can obtain the secrets of the ancient Dragon Clan or gain something, then my trip to the ancient Dragon Star this time will not be in vain. Ha ha. Jiang Chen said calmly. You, why are you like this? His Majesty is not anxious, but the eunuch is. I really have to give it to you. Chapter 4701. Jiang Chen knew that she was thinking for his sake. But since he was already here, he might as well take things as they came. The Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss was not a place that anyone could enter. If those Eternal Dragon Tribe fellows did not provoke him, it would be fine. But if they did, then he would send them to the 18th level of hell. The next morning, Mo Qi, Mo Ri, Mo Guang, Ao Yunlong, Jean Xiaoxiao, and Jiang Chen all appeared on the High Sun Mountain range. Today, Lan Yu did not even show up. The experts of the Terror Dragon Tribe were completely annihilated. No one entered the top 10. This was undoubtedly a great humiliation. How could he still have the face to show up? Jiang Chen, Xiaoxiao, I thought about it last night and couldn't sleep at all. A gentleman's wealth is his own ruin. Your current situation is not good. If those Eternal Dragon Tribe fellows attack you, the situation will not be optimistic. How about you stop while you're ahead? Don't go to the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. Jean Ebai said with a gloomy expression. It's not too late to regret it now. Otherwise, once you enter the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss, You will be in great danger. Jin Ebai's heart was beating like a drum. Jin Ebai's heart was beating like a drum. After all, Jiang Chen was the most outstanding genius of the Golden Dragon clan in the past 5,000 years. Although he was still an outsider, he had already treated Jiang Chen as his son-in-law. Jiang Chen would definitely become his son-in-law in the future. As for Jin Xiaoxiao, there was no need to talk about it. She was his precious daughter, and if anything happened to her, his life would be taken away by her. Therefore, Jin Ebai had to make sure no matter what. Tribe leader, I appreciate your kindness, but if I don't go, I will definitely become the laughingstock of the 4 great dragon tribes. Since I have obtained the qualification to enter the Earth Dragon's ancient abyss to train, I must not waste it. Even if I know that the road ahead is filled with thorns, I must still give it a try. A true man's ambition is to travel far and wide. If I were to shrink back like this, I'm afraid that I will never forgive myself. I might even become the laughingstock of the ancient dragon star. Jiang Chen said with a faint smile. Every word came from the bottom of his heart. Even Jin Ebai could not refute him. Daughter. Jin Ebai's gaze turned towards Jin Xiaoxiao. Father, Jiang Chen is right. If I don't go, it will be a loss for the Golden Dragon tribe. We will be the laughingstock of the entire ancient dragon star. You don't want your daughter to become useless, do you? Jin Xiaoxiao said with a chuckle. She had decided to follow Jiang Chen to the end. You little girl. Say. Jin Ebai was speechless. Since she had already made up her mind, there was nothing more he could say. After so many years, Jin Ebai knew that Jin Xiaoxiao was like a man deep down, wanting to make a name for herself. She wanted him to see it, wanting him as a father to relax a little and not have to work hard for the family. Her character was always so carefree, but her thoughts were as meticulous as a needle. As her father, how could Jin Ebai not know this? She never retreated in the face of danger. This time, she wasn't just doing this for the sake of the Golden Dragon tribe. She was also doing this to give herself an explanation. Be careful. Jin Ebai patted Jin Xiaoxiao's shoulder, his eyes filled with affection and reluctance. Are you all ready? Mo Xiaolong said calmly. This trip to the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss was definitely the chance for the Eternal Dragon tribe to make a comeback. At that time, all the Origin Stones and Chaos Source Pearls would be spat out. Jiang Chen, you arrogant fellow. You should not have appeared here in the first place. You don't have the ability, yet you insist on showing off. If you knew when to retreat, he might still have a chance to live. However, now that he has resolutely charged into the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss, the outcome will definitely fill him with despair. Everyone took a step forward, their eyes shining brightly. Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao looked at each other. They were already fully prepared. The trip to the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss was imminent. Go! Mo Xiaolong's palm moved, and a terrifying force descended from the sky, blasting into the valley below the high Sun Mountain range. Jiang Chen's eyes narrowed slightly, overwhelmed with shock in his heart. It seems that Mo Xiaolong is indeed terrifying, making everyone's heart palpitate. It was at this moment that the valley continuously caved in, forming an incomparably huge pit. It was pitch black, and one could not see the bottom. It was like an incomparably huge ferocious beast opening its bloody mouth to devour people. Deep, pitch black, cold and terrifying. Around the heavenly pit, there was a stone staircase that spiraled downwards. The stone staircase was around 2 feet in height. Every single stone staircase was filled with an ancient aura, as though it had experienced the baptism of countless years. It continuously spiraled around the heavenly pit, giving one a misconception that it was bottomless. Is this the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss? Jiang Chen's gaze fell on the deep pit, and a mournful feeling rose in his heart. This was definitely not a good place, but he could clearly feel waves of terrifying Genesis Chi continuously gushing out from the pit. The Genesis Chi here was indeed rare in the world. How terrifying! Jin Xiaoxiao said in a low voice. No matter how strong a girl was, they would still feel an indescribable fear towards the darkness. It seems that the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss lives up to its reputation. A rare smile was revealed on Ao Yunlong's face. He took a step forward and leapt down, silently heading towards the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. You guys have 1 month. If you guys don't come out after a month, I will seal the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. When that happens, you guys will not be able to come out. Therefore you must not be greedy. 1 month is enough for you guys to break through. If you want to stand above others, work hard and begin your path of cultivation. Mo Yunlong stood with his hands behind his back, an indifferent expression on his face. Jin Eba sent off Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao with his eyes, the worry in his heart self-evident. The three members of the Eternal Dragon clan closely followed Ao Yunlong into the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss, with Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao following closely behind. Jiang Chen was very cautious. The surrounding pitch-black darkness made everyone extremely nervous. The group slowly descended, entering the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. With a rub of his hand, Ao Yunlong ignited a rock and threw it into the pit. The flame continued to descend until it disappeared from sight. In the end, there was nothing to be gained. Besides the pitch-black walls, they could not see anything else. The only thing they could be sure of was that the Genesis Chi from the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss was endlessly gushing out from the bottom of the abyss. Chapter 4702. Looks like this Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss is really bottomless. Ao Yunlong's eyes were incomparably serious. His face was filled with shock and excitement. Although he was worried, his eyes were also burning with passion. The more it was like this, the more mysterious this Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss was. If entering it was only for cultivation, wouldn't it be too boring? Everyone's eyes were filled with curiosity. Back then, there were people who disappeared in the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. Therefore, there were almost no people who dared to dive 10,000 feet down. Back then, there were people who had disappeared from the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. Therefore, there was basically no one who dared to dive to 100,000 feet below. No one knows what kind of changes there are underground in the 10,000-meter deep pit. However, ever since the continuous disappearances, the four great dragon tribes have an unwritten rule. Everyone can only dive to a depth of 10,000 meters after entering the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. No one knows what is further down. However, it cannot be denied that those who have disappeared have all dived to 100,000 feet below. No one wants to die. Therefore, no one has dared to take this risk during these years. The gains do not make up for the losses. There are indeed people who know that there are tigers in the mountain, but they all become legends. As long as they don't want to die, no one will take the path to their own death. Jin Xiaoxiao looked at Jiang Chen, her eyes filled with warning. Jiang Chen did not know about the agreement between the four great dragon clans. Therefore, he did not have any thoughts. If he directly rushed 10,000 feet down, then it was very likely that he would be consigned to eternal damnation. I understand. Don't worry, Jiang Chen said with a smile. Jin Xiaoxiao was afraid that a moment of recklessness would lead to an irreversible mistake. There was indeed something strange about this place. Even if Jiang Chen's divine soul kept probing, he could only see things that were 100 meters away from him. There was no way for him to probe further. It was pitch black in here, giving him a sense of crisis. They actually did not make a move. It is a bit strange. Jin Xiaoxiao frowned. Her heart was beating like a drum as she silently thought about Mochi, Ao Yunlong, and the others. Right now, the most important thing for them is to cultivate. They need to find a suitable place to start cultivating. Without ensuring their own safety and the safety of their surroundings, they won't make the first move because I'm not their primary target. In other words, they don't care about me at all. When their path of cultivation is completely completed, or when I threaten their interests, they might make a move. Jiang Chen said with a sneer. It's better for them to ignore me, lest they keep buzzing around my ears like headless flies. Jiang Chen had a feeling that the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss was extremely dangerous, but as long as it was a place of great danger, there would definitely be great auspicious things. Although this place was filled with danger, it was very likely that there would be different harvests. I see. Looks like we still have to be careful, Jin Xiaoxiao said with a sudden realization. However, ever since they entered the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss, Ao Yunlong, Mochi, and the others had all become extremely quiet. They had always been silently searching for a suitable place to cultivate, searching for the mysteries of the existence of the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. It would be great if De Huang was here. That guy's ability to locate dragons was pretty amazing. Wherever there was a treasure, he could sniff it out with one hand. Thinking of De Huang and Long San, Jiang Chen's heart was filled with sorrow. The best thing to do now was to leave the ancient dragon star first. Who the hell would have thought that the teleportation array here was broken? They dived all the way to the abyss that extended 10,000 meters underground. Besides pitch-black darkness, there was only endless silence. The clear sound of footsteps was transmitted into everyone's ears. No one dared to let their guard down. Besides the bottomless abyss, there was nothing else they could see. Besides the rich Genesis chi, no one discovered anything. It was like a cave, but the deep cave gave off a feeling that it could devour everything. We can't go any further. Otherwise, we may never be able to return. Jin Xiaoxiao grabbed Jiang Chen's hand and said. At this moment, Emo Chi, Ao Yunlong and the others who were in front of them stopped their steps hesitantly and looked at each other. What Jin Xiaoxiao said was right. Every one of them was filled with longing for the future, but that bottomless abyss seemed to have infinite magic that deeply attracted them. One step forward, and the bottomless abyss. One step back, and the sea and sky would be boundless. No one wanted to die here. Most importantly, Mo Chi, Ao Yunlong and the others finally stopped. Jiang Chen glanced at Jin Xiaoxiao, and his heart grew increasingly determined. Nothing ventured. Nothing gained. He had a feeling that there was definitely something he wanted in the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. To leave the Ancient Dragon Star, Jiang Chen had to take this natural risk. I know, but I have to go. Some people live to fight to the death, to live to the death. Jiang Chen said meticulously. Jin Xiaoxiao knitted her brows, but before she could continue speaking, Jiang Chen had already turned towards the depths of the darkness. Jin Xiaoxiao did not expect Jiang Chen to be so determined. Does he not want to live? Mo Guang said coldly. It seems that he is indeed a hothead who doesn't know his limits. Mo Ri sneered. If you want to live, you should know everything. If even he dares to go deep, what are we afraid of? Let's go. Mo Chi's eyes were sharp. Looking at the bottomless abyss, he made up his mind. The three of them looked at each other in bewilderment. Without any scruples, they went down the abyss again. I am alone. What is there to be afraid of? Ao Yunlong smiled self-mockingly. The abyss 10,000 meters below was indeed full of dangers, but if he did not even have the courage to face the abyss, he would be a failure. Jiang Chen going deep made the people of the Eternal Dragon Tribe and Ao Yunlong angry. Even a young man at the second sky of the Star Emperor realm like him dared to take the risk. What right did they have to pretend to be cowards here? If he got some treasure, it would be a great loss. You are going to piss me off. Jin Xiaoxiao stamped her feet hard. Everyone had gone deeper. What reason did she have to stay here? Not for the treasure, but for Jiang Chen's safety. The fire in Jiang Chen's palm rose slowly. The flickering flame illuminated the area within 100 meters. He went deeper into the abyss along the stone stairs. Since there were stone stairs, it meant that someone had gone into the abyss. When Jiang Chen reached the bottom of the abyss, he started to hear terrifying roars. The roars were hysterical and crazy, but they were intermittent, which made Jiang Chen very confused. But he still didn't stop his footsteps. Only, in the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss, on the stone walls, there appeared one after another lifelike huge dragons. In front of the cliff, the ferocious and terrifying huge dragons seemed to open their bloody mouths, wanting to devour those who came. It was a ghastly sight, causing people to be overwhelmed with shock. The evil chi is so strong. Accompanied by the horrifying dragon chi, it is getting more and more interesting. Chapter 4703. Jiang Chen continued to descend into the abyss. Mo Chi and the others were very smart. They followed behind Jiang Chen. Once any danger arose, they would be able to react immediately. In that case, it would be equivalent to having one more shield for them. I didn't expect this guy to be so bold. The bold will be stuffed to death while the timid will starve to death. However, this guy is just foolishly bold. Won't all the treasures he obtains be ours? It's best to be careful. Jiang Chen is just a stone to test the waters. If there's any danger, we should retreat as soon as possible. The old ancestors' words are not without reason. Many people who enter the abyss never come out and completely disappear in the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. Mo Chi and the others were far more cautious than Jiang Chen. At this moment, Jiang Chen discovered a dilapidated stone tablet at the bottom of the stone steps. 2 lines of words were written on the stone tablet. Boundary tablet. Trespassers will die. Boundary tablet? Jiang Chen frowned. He was somewhat puzzled. What boundary was this? Could it be that it was a separate world? Trespassers will die. Needless to say, these words were naturally a warning to trespassers. However, the words on it were engraved in blood. On the surrounding walls, there were still vivid and lifelike dragons embedded in the walls. Each and every one of them had a repulsive and ferocious appearance. To outsiders, this was definitely a form of deterrence. However, as time passed, Jiang Chen no longer cared. After passing through the boundary tablet, an eerie and terrifying aura penetrated his entire body. A bone-chilling sensation assaulted him. However, the rich Genesis Qi also gave Jiang Chen a refreshing feeling. Danger and opportunity coexisted. Today, I will see exactly how deep this abyss is. Jiang Chen sneered and charged down the abyss with large strides. The surrounding stone steps began to tremble unceasingly. Everyone's heart became anxious. What's going on? Why is this happening? You're asking me. How would I know? Be careful. Let's stabilize it first. Mo Chi's eyes were sharp as he said in a deep voice. However, before he could finish his words, the giant dragons on the surrounding rock walls suddenly came to life. Roar, roar, rumble. As the huge dragons broke free from the stone walls, dozens of dragon shadows soared into the sky, roaring deafeningly. Oh no! Jin Xiaoxiao's heart sank. Jiang Chen was still at the bottom, but the dragons on the stone walls suddenly came to life. It was simply too shocking. Moreover, the surrounding stone steps were constantly shaking, on the verge of collapse. Looks like I really can't come here. Ao Yunlong was a little regretful. These crazy dragons were circling above their heads. That kind of pressure was self-evident. Moreover, the dragon might of these dragons was far from what they could compare to. The dragons continued to charge towards them, but their cultivation levels were unclear. The only thing that made them strong was their draconic might and the momentum of their attacks. The 300-meter-long dragons swept through the sky palaces and turned the entire abyss upside down. Jiang Chen punched out, and the giant dragon directly rushed up, pressing Jiang Chen down thousands of feet. Jiang Chen had no choice but to retreat. One giant dragon after another made everyone complain incessantly. However, the attack power of these giant dragons was extremely simple, and they only rushed and collided. Jiang Chen drew out his sword, pointed it at the giant dragon, and blasted it up. The sword was like a rainbow, slashing in the sky. The giant dragon was smashed into pieces, and the boulders scattered. At this time, everyone unleashed all of their skills, slashing all of the giant dragons into pieces. The sky continued to fall, the surrounding stone steps were all shattered. Jiang Chen and the others fell into the abyss. Mother***, we can't fly here? Ao Yunlong's words caused everyone's breathing to become sluggish. A wave of fear surged into their hearts. Not being able to fly meant that after they fell into the abyss, it was very possible that they would never be able to return. That kind of despair spread in everyone's hearts, unceasingly spreading out. This was simply sealing off their path of retreat. Everyone used all their strength, but it was of no use. That kind of despair when falling freely was something that no one could bear. If they lost the ability to fly, their strength would be greatly reduced, and it was hard to imagine how they would be able to leave this bottomless abyss. Jiang Chen's state of mind was as one. At this time, he was calmer than anyone else, because he had the Sky Ascension stairway in his hand. He didn't need to worry about his own safety. After a full 2 hours, everyone finally saw a trace of light. The light continued to expand, and in the end, it became more and more dazzling. During these 2 hours, they were all falling continuously. One could imagine how long they had been falling, and how deep this abyss was. No one knew. Jiang Chen landed lightly on the ground. He looked up and saw Ao Yunlong directly smashing into the deep pit like a ray of light. Immediately after, Mo Qi, Mo Ri, and Mo Guang also smashed into the ground with 3 loud bangs, creating huge pits of over 10 feet. Immediately after, Jiang Chen's eyes flickered, and finally, Jin Xiaoxiao's figure directly fell into his embrace. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes were tightly shut, and her face was ashen. The moment she opened her eyes, Jiang Chen's figure was right in front of her, and the two of them were tightly hugging each other, making Jin Xiaoxiao extremely nervous. Are you all right? Jin Xiaoxiao asked, and her expression was a little awkward. I should be the one asking you that, Jiang Chen said with a smile, and Jin Xiaoxiao lowered her head in embarrassment. Around them, Ao Yunlong, Mo Qi, and the others also stood up slowly. However, all of them were covered in dust and spat out blood. They were clearly injured from the fall. Although they had terrifying dragon bodies, they were not invincible Vajra bodies after all. Falling from such a high altitude, it was inevitable that they would be injured. The surroundings were bright, and even a little dazzling. They had finally reached the bottom of this abyss, and it was an underground plaza that stretched as far as the eye could see. Since they were already here, they might as well make the best of it. Jiang Chen was not anxious at all, and decided to look around first. On the ground, there were many corpses. Some were human, and some were dragon. However, they had all been here for billions of years, and even the bones would fall apart with a touch. Could these all be the ancestors of our dragon race? Jin Xiaoxiao said in a low voice. At this moment, she had already gotten off Jiang Chen's body, and her face was still a little flushed. Damn it, what the hell is this place? Mo Guang said with a gloomy face. He looked around, unwilling to let go of anything. Seems like it's not very possible for us to get out. Ao Yunlong's words once again became a nightmare in everyone's hearts. Looking at the eerie corpses around them, these people were very likely to be a lesson for them. Their initial impulse had finally paid the price at this moment. It's all your fault, Jiang Chen. If not for you, we wouldn't have followed you down. You're a jinx. Mo Ri shouted angrily. You didn't have to come down. It was you who was greedy and wanted to search for treasures. Who can you blame? Jin Xiaoxiao said, unwilling to be outdone. Mo Ri's face changed, but he was stopped by Mo Qi now. I'm afraid we have to work together. Otherwise, I'm afraid it's really impossible to leave this place. Mo Qi said faintly. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't panicking. However, it was at this moment that they had to be calm. In order to search for treasures, they didn't want to lose their lives here. At this moment, Jiang Chen's hatred was completely unimportant. You're right. Only by working together can we leave this place and escape. Ao Yunlong nodded. Chapter 4704. At the center of the plaza, a stone well appeared before everyone's eyes. The stone well was extremely simple and unadorned, and was covered in extremely strange patterns that resembled the red spider lily. However, the well was not tall. When Jiang Chen and the rest appeared beside it, they could feel extremely rich Genesis Qi pouncing towards them like smoke rising from a chimney. Is the Genesis Qi in the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss all released from here? Jin Xiaoxiao was rather curious, but the scene before her was already as clear as day. The Genesis Qi in the stone well was endless, and it was even more intense than what everyone had felt before. It feels so comfortable. Since we can't leave now, let's just train here. Ao Yunlong was not the slightest bit worried. Since no one could leave, they could only take things one step at a time. At the very least, the endless Genesis Qi made him feel an unconcealable excitement. You're right. Since we don't know if we'll live or die, we might as well train for a while. Perhaps we'll be able to leave once our strength increases. Mo Ri chuckled. Everyone was currently on the same starting line, and the three brothers had a huge advantage that no one else possessed. Regardless of whether it was the Golden Dragon Clan or the Proud Sky Dragon Clan, they needed to properly deal with Ao Yunlong's strength. As for Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao, they were also filled with doubt. If the Mo clan brothers had died at Jiang Chen's hands, it was very likely that he was a hidden expert. However, no matter how strong a second-layer Star Emperor was, how strong could he be? This was something that everyone was rather puzzled about. Ao Yunlong sat down on the ground, and the three Mo clan brothers also sat down around the stone well. Jin Xiaoxiao looked towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen did not say anything, and was instead observing his surroundings. Jiang Chen would not easily let down his guard until he was absolutely certain that nothing would go wrong. Moreover, he had to be on guard against anything that might appear in the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. Only a ghost would know if the three Mo clan brothers and Ao Yunlong would attack him. It was better to be safe than sorry. A proper investigation would not go wrong. Jiang Chen's expression was solemn. After carefully observing the surroundings, he nodded at Jin Xiaoxiao, indicating that she was fine. Then he sat down beside the stone well. There was nothing in this square, only a stone well. It made people feel very strange, but there was no danger at all. Jiang Chen was also puzzled. Could it be that those who entered all died of old age here? That didn't seem very likely. However, no one who had entered by mistake had managed to leave this place alive. This was quite puzzling. Although he had the sky-ascending stairway in his hands, Jiang Chen still had to be careful. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes were also filled with worry. She was born and raised on the ancient dragon star. She understood the dangers of the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss even better. Is there really no danger here? Jin Xiaoxiao asked. At the very least, I haven't discovered anything. It should be safe for now. There are no signs of life in the surroundings. There are no signs of demonic beasts or the aura of the dragon clan. The dragon bones we encountered when we first entered seemed to be the greatest danger. Jiang Chen looked towards Jin Xiaoxiao and shrugged helplessly. It was better if there was no danger. The Genesis Qi gushing out from the stone well was more than enough for 10 people to cultivate. Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao exchanged a look. The two of them sat down on the ground like everyone else. It would be best if they could take advantage of the situation to make a breakthrough. They had yet to find the exit, and even more so did not know how to leave the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. However, in the face of the unceasing surging Genesis Qi Sea, it was understandable that they wanted to make a breakthrough as soon as possible. Everyone was living in harmony, and they didn't disturb each other. This was because up until now, there hadn't been any conflicts of interest. Without any treasures, no one would make a move. However, there was no guarantee that they would remain silent forever. Jiang Chen could feel the fierce gazes of the three Mo brothers, and they were constantly hovering above his head. I hope you guys don't provoke me. Otherwise, I will kill all of you. Jiang Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. At this moment, even the demonic beasts in the Buddha prison pagoda had become excited. The Genesis Qi was a great supplement for them and would allow them to recover their strength as quickly as possible. The Black King's strength had exceeded Jiang Chen's imagination. He had previously given the Black King the other 4 chaos orbs with the exception of the largest one. Jiang Chen had not expected the latter to absorb them so quickly, and was now leading his numerous subordinates to begin a new round of frenzied devouring. For the Black King and the others, as well as the millions of demonic beasts in the Buddha prison pagoda, this was simply a gluttonous feast. Without any distractions, Jiang Chen finally began to frantically devour the Genesis Qi after confirming that there was no danger in the surroundings. In less than a day, Jiang Chen felt that he was already on the verge of a breakthrough. The third layer of the Star Emperor realm was almost without any resistance. Jiang Chen was extremely shocked and pleasantly surprised. It's really effortless to obtain it. This Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss is really a treasure land. Jiang Chen couldn't help but feel a little emotional. At this time, Ao Yunlong also broke through to the Star Emperor realm. His strength had reached the Star Emperor realm. At that moment, Ao Yunlong's imposing manner suddenly skyrocketed. Although there was only a difference of 1 layer between the 6th and 7th Star Emperor realm, the difference was huge. Reaching the 7th Star Emperor realm would definitely allow one to occupy a place in the Dragon Clan. Even if one was not good enough, it would be very easy for them to enter the Elder Council. Therefore, the 6th and 7th Star Emperor realm was a very terrifying watershed. Some people might not be able to break through even after thousands or even tens of thousands of years. In particular, the closer one was to the peak of the Star Emperor realm, the more difficult it was to break through. Jin Xiaoxiao was still cultivating, but Jiang Chen frowned. He felt that something was wrong because Ao Yunlong had locked onto him. That guy's eyes were filled with battle intent. Is he going to start a war with me? Jiang Chen did not expect that the first person to attack would not be the 3 Mo brothers, but Ao Yunlong. What do you want? Jiang Chen asked Leng Leng. Of course I want to kill you. My body is surging with source power now, and I must release it. Ha 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 ha. The 7th Star Emperor realm. I have been waiting for too long. I didn't expect to break through so soon today. I must commemorate my breakthrough to the 7th Star Emperor realm. I want to see how strong you are. Killing you is just the right time to sharpen my blade. Ao Yunlong's face was flushed as he spoke in an incomparably domineering manner. At this moment, his heart was filled with battle intent, and his entire body was filled with endless Genesis Qi. He felt like the sun in the sky, full of light. In this battle, he wanted to completely release it. Killing Jiang Chen was his goal. What a high-sounding reason. You are so arrogant even when killing someone. As expected of someone from the Ao Sky Dragon clan. But if you want to kill me, it will depend on whether you have the ability. Chapter 4705. Jin Xiaoxiao opened her eyes. Her strength remained at the peak of the 6th heaven of the Star Emperor realm, unable to break through. However, seeing that Jiang Chen was in danger, She did not dare to be careless in the slightest. Without the lips, the teeth would be interdependent. She and Jiang Chen were completely bound together. Neither of them could leave the other. If Jiang Chen was killed, then she would be all alone in the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. Not only Ao Yunlong, but the three brothers of the Mo family were also eyeing covetously. At this moment, the relationship between the three parties was extremely delicate. A slight move in one part could affect the whole. Therefore, even the three brothers of the Mo family did not dare to act rashly. However, Ao Yunlong could not bear it anymore. He actually wanted to use Jiang Chen as his whetstone. This guy was too arrogant. Looks like this Ao Yunlong can't bear it anymore. If he can get rid of Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao, then we'll save a lot of effort. Yeah, this Jiang Chen has been an eyesore for a long time. If it weren't for you, second brother, holding me back, I would have chopped him up a long time ago. This kid isn't as weak as you all think. He didn't only rely on luck to get to where he is today. Even Jin Xiaoxiao, that arrogant woman, has faith in Jiang Chen. Also, don't forget how the few brothers of our Mo family died. That's right. The three from the Mo family squinted their eyes and watched the situation unfold. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. For the three brothers of the Mo family, the best outcome was none other than the three of them all dying in battle. By then, they would be able to reap the benefits. Be careful, Jiang Chen. This guy is very terrifying. He is the first to break through the seventh heaven of the Star Emperor realm. Do not underestimate him. Jin Xiaoxiao stood next to Jiang Chen, ready to strike. Since you like to bully pushovers so much, I'll fulfill your wish. Jiang Chen was also ready. He exchanged a look with Jin Xiaoxiao, his fighting spirit soaring. You don't know what's good for you. Now, I'll let you have a taste of my methods. Ao Yunlong's eyes were like fire, and the disdain on his face was clear. At this moment, he felt invincible. The power that the seventh heaven of the Star Emperor realm brought him was too great. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in such a hurry to find an opponent to train with, to see how strong he really was. Cut the crap. It's not that easy to kill us. Don't go for wool and come home shorn. Jin Xiaoxiao sneered. Since you're so stubborn, I'll fulfill your wish. Let's become a pair of doomed mandarin ducks. Ao Yunlong attacked first with an imposing manner. Jin Xiaoxiao's expression changed abruptly. She didn't expect the gap between the seventh and sixth sky of the Star Emperor realm to be so huge. She took the lead, but facing Ao Yunlong's fists, she couldn't take it at all. After 3 punches, she was already stumbling backward. Her face was as red as blood. Obviously, she couldn't match up to him at all. Jiang Chen's heart shuddered. It seemed that this guy was stronger than he imagined. Like a huge mountain, he pushed forward and pursued with great force. Jiang Chen directly used the dragon transformation to fight against Ao Yunlong. His body was like a diamond, but it couldn't stop Ao Yunlong's footsteps at all. The difference in strength between the two was huge. Jiang Chen being able to exchange dozens of punches with him without collapsing was already quite terrifying. Not only Ao Yunlong, but even the 3 Mo brothers looked at each other in shock. This Ao Yunlong's strength has indeed increased by too much. It seems that the 7th heaven of the Star Emperor realm is called the watershed of experts for a reason. Mo Ri said with a stern expression. That's right. This Jiang Chen has given us a great shock. Even if it's me, I'm afraid that I'll have to use all my strength to resist such a powerful attack. Mo Guang's expression was solemn. He had underestimated Jiang Chen before. Only now did he realize that this guy also had a terrifying dragon body. However, his dragon body was half human and half dragon. It was extremely strange, but its power was something they had never heard of before. It seems that we have to seize the opportunity to make breakthroughs as well. Without enough strength, we can only become stepping stones for others. Once this Ao Yunlong kills Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao, if we don't make breakthroughs, I'm afraid we'll also become ghosts in his hands. With his current strength, we might not be a match for him even if it's 1 against 3, Mo Chi said. To forge iron, one had to be strong. Right now, the 3 of them were only 1 step away from the 7th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. If Ao Yunlong beat them to it and made things difficult for them, then they would very likely be doomed beyond redemption. They would be at the mercy of others just like Jiang Chen. The 3 of them nodded heavily. They were no longer in the mood to watch the battle and once again entered cultivation. However, Ao Yunlong's attack was far from over. Jiang Chen looked steadily forward with a solemn expression. At the same time, Jin Xiaoxiao also followed closely behind. The two of them joined forces and barely managed to stop Ao Yunlong's charge. However, the situation could not be ignored at all. A slight mistake and they would lose their lives on the spot. You two are too weak. You're no match for me at all. Even if you try hard, you won't be able to escape this time. You're like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Ha! Ao Yunlong's roar reverberated through the sky. It was as terrifying as his strength. Jin Xiaoxiao used all her means, but it was still difficult to resist his sharpness. Jiang Chen was in the front, but he was constantly pushed back by Ao Yunlong. That violent aura was suffocating. If it weren't for Jiang Chen's strong resistance and terrifying body, he might have already been smashed into a meat patty. Jiang Chen stood up with his sword in hand. The heavenly dragon sword soared up, and the sword chi was terrifying. However, Ao Yunlong's body of flesh and blood resisted it head-on, and it was still full of power. Jiang Chen's space was shrinking, and he was in a dilemma. At this moment, he could only fight to the end to have a chance of survival. Jin Xiaoxiao had also displayed her true form. Her 300-meter-long dragon body swept across the sky. Together with Jiang Chen, they fought back in desperation. The limitless sword, the sword chi was like frost, which made Jiang Chen's combat strength rise continuously. At this moment, he could only entangle Ao Yunlong. It was impossible to defeat him. It was already extremely difficult for him to be in a stalemate. The seventh sky of Star Emperor. Jiang Chen had a taste of it today. It seemed that it was too difficult for them to defeat Ao Yunlong. Jiang Chen, I can't hold on for much longer. Think of a way quickly. Jin Xiaoxiao felt incomparably bitter. Even if she revealed her true form, the help she could provide Jiang Chen was still limited. Perhaps even 10 sixth heavenly layer Star Emperors couldn't defeat a 7th heavenly layer Star Emperor. This was the gap between them. 27 swords. Jiang Chen drew out his sword. The sword head tore, and the sound echoed through the entire underground square. 27 sword wills covered the whole place. Ao Yunlong roared, resisting the startling sword chi above Jiang Chen's head. However, he was also shocked. The people of the Mo family did not die in vain. He had already overestimated Jiang Chen's means. However, if he were in the 6th sky of Star Emperor, he would definitely not be able to compete with the continuous attacks. Chapter 4706. Both of you must die. Ao Yunlong roared and transformed into his true form. It was a silver dragon with a single horn and a body length of 500 zhang. It was much smaller than Jin Xiaoxiao's 300 zhang dragon body. However, that kind of explosive power was something Jin Xiaoxiao could not compare to. With a sweep of the divine dragon's tail, Jin Xiaoxiao was instantly thrown to the ground, unable to dodge. Watch out! Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. He flicked his long sword, and the sword chi was 800 zhang, instantly cutting off Ao Yunlong's path. Even if Ao Yunlong was strong enough, he did not dare to face Jiang Chen's sword chi head-on. This guy came and went like a ghost, and had innumerable tricks. He had to kill Jin Xiaoxiao first. Only then could he defeat them one by one. Taking advantage of the gap when the sword chi approached, Jin Xiaoxiao quickly retreated. She reversed her momentum and faced Ao Yunlong again. However, Jiang Chen followed closely behind. The two joined together again and began the final attack. I can't hold on much longer, Jiang Chen. Jin Xiaoxiao transmitted her voice, complaining incessantly in her heart. This Ao Yunlong had completely exceeded their imagination. The 7th heaven of the Star Emperor realm was unstoppable. It looked like it was time to fight him to the death. Jiang Chen knew that continuing to drag on would not do them any good. Moreover, the 3 Mo brothers were still watching from the side. They had to finish this battle quickly. Black King. Kill him. Jiang Chen gave a low roar, and a black shadow shot out from the void. At that moment, not only Ao Yunlong, but even Jin Xiaoxiao was stunned. What kind of monster was this? The Black King directly transformed into his true form. The horrifying black shadow covered the sun and the sky. The tiger roared again and again as it clashed with Ao Yunlong. Their auras soared to the sky. Ao Yunlong's expression changed drastically. This black tiger was rather terrifying. It was like a mountain, unmoving. You have helpers? For such a long time, Jin Xiaoxiao didn't know that Jiang Chen had a helper. He wasn't alone, and his helper was even stronger than him. He was in the 6th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. Right. After the Black King swallowed the chaos source beads that Jiang Chen gave him and cultivated here, his strength had improved by leaps and bounds. He had already reached the 6th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. Even Jiang Chen was shocked. Holy crap! This time, the Black King had completely turned the tables and became the master. Bastard! Ao Yunlong cursed angrily, his face livid. He was disgraced by the Black King's 3 attacks. This guy's strength was on par with his. Since when did a beast in the 6th sky of the Star Emperor realm become so strong? Ao Yunlong was enraged. The reason why Jiang Chen was able to kill the people of the Mo clan was definitely because of this monstrous beast. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for him to do it by himself. Just a little brother. Let's kill this guy first. Jiang Chen smiled faintly, calm and unruffled. However, his sword was getting sharper and sharper. Cooperating with the Black King's Black Tiger Charge and Jin Xiaoxiao's Rising Dragon and Crouching Tiger, Jiang Chen's sword chi was able to unleash its full potential. Ao Yunlong was suffering bitterly, but his initial elegance was already gone. The addition of the Black King was a reassurance for Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao. In the battle of the 3 elites, they were unafraid of death. Jin Xiaoxiao was extremely shocked. If she wasn't in a desperate situation, perhaps she wouldn't have known that Jiang Chen had such a powerful expert by his side. The Black King took the initiative to attack first. He was the main force and gave Ao Yunlong a fatal blow. Jin Xiaoxiao followed up. Her initial grievance was completely released. Now, Ao Yunlong was already covered in bruises. He was no match for the 3 of them and could only run for his life. Black King, kill without mercy. Jiang Chen's order made the Black King's tiger body tremble. He didn't hold back and started to crazily attack Ao Yunlong. Jin Xiaoxiao was extremely excited. With the combined strength of the 3 of them, Ao Yunlong was completely in a passive position. His life was hanging by a thread. One after another, Black Tiger Steel's heart. Ao Yunlong's dragon scales flew off. He was riddled with wounds. For a moment, he didn't have any strength to retaliate. The Heavenly Dragon Sword sealed off all his possible escape routes. He could only passively take a beating without any choice. Ao Yunlong finally felt the threat of death. Jiang Chen, why don't we shake hands and make up? If you want to leave this place, it's impossible for you to do it alone. Ao Yunlong staggered and said solemnly, "You have the cheek to say such words? Truly shameless. Your Ao Yunlong clan is too disgusting." Jin Xiaoxiao said in disdain, "Jiang Chen, if you kill me, it won't do you any good. Even if I fight with my life on the line, you won't have it good either. Let me go. You're the one who benefits the most." Ao Yunlong said solemnly. He didn't believe that Jiang Chen wouldn't stop. "Whether I leave or not, it's not up to you to say. If I want to leave, I leave. If I want to stay, I stay. What can the heavens do to me? What use do I have for you? When I, Jiang Chen, do things, I never like to procrastinate. If people don't offend me, I won't offend them. If people offend me, I'll return it 10-fold or 100-fold. So, you don't have the right to talk terms with me." Jiang Chen sneered. He didn't care about Ao Yunlong's words at all. "Bastard! You're courting death. I'll fight it out with you. Even if I die, I'll drag you, trash, down with me. What right do you have to step on my head and shit on me?" Ao Yunlong roared angrily. He roared again and again as he completely launched his final attack. Ao Yunlong was already forced into a corner by Jiang Chen. At this time, he already didn't have any path of retreat. He could only fight with his life on the line. But the result was very likely to be a tragic death. But even if he died, he also had to make Jiang Chen stay behind. He was only making his final struggle in a certain death situation. Even if he died, he couldn't die without any value. Jiang Chen naturally knew Ao Yunlong's goal. This fellow was fighting with his life on the line to make him stay behind. It was nothing more than to seek a chance of survival. If Jiang Chen cowered, then it would very likely give him a chance to escape with his life. But it was a pity that he completely didn't know just how strong Jiang Chen was. Even if he wanted to exchange for Jiang Chen's life, it wasn't that easy. "You're thinking too much. You want to drag me down with you? You're not worthy. Jiang Chen sneered. He didn't retreat, but advanced instead. The pressure formed by the three of them joining forces against Ao Yunlong was already completely formed. It was simply impossible for him to survive in the cracks. Roar! The Black King let out a desperate roar and collided with Ao Yunlong. He retreated with a loud bang, while Ao Yunlong took advantage of the situation and charged towards Jiang Chen. He used all his strength and wanted to make a move on Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's eyes were like lightning. He didn't fear danger. One big and one small. The two figures overlapped. In an instant, there was a violent tremor as if the sky was falling and the earth was splitting. Chapter 4707. A mouthful of blood spurted out. At that moment, Ao Yunlong could no longer hold on. His entire body was covered with cuts and bruises, and he no longer had the elegance from before. Although Jiang Chen had also suffered severe injuries, it wasn't fatal. Meanwhile, Ao Yunlong was isolated and helpless. With Jin Xiaoxiao and the Black King working together, he had nowhere to retreat. The dragon and the tiger clashed, and the two swords combined to form an irresistible force. Ao Yunlong was no match for Yi Chen. In the end, he slowly fell. His gaze became lifeless. He never thought that he would really fall in the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. Moreover, he lost to a brat at the third heavenly layer of the Star Emperor realm. Ao Yunlong's heart was filled with unwillingness, but he couldn't resist Jiang Chen's strength. The Black King didn't hesitate at all. With a heavy punch, he directly shattered Ao Yunlong's internal organs. Ao Yunlong died on the spot. His eyes were filled with unwillingness, but he couldn't blame anyone. Who asked him to provoke Jiang Chen? Jiang Chen didn't want to make a move, but he had no choice but to kill Ao Yunlong. The Black King was like a spear, standing behind Jiang Chen. At that moment, Jin Xiaoxiao knew that she couldn't help but look at Jiang Chen in a different light. Moreover, she didn't know much about his secrets. It seemed that she had really underestimated Jiang Chen. Even when his life was hanging by a thread many times, he didn't call out the Black King. One could imagine how confident he was. Jin Xiaoxiao had a complicated look in her eyes. Jiang Chen's background was also a mystery. Even though she trusted Jiang Chen very much, she didn't know where to go. Don't worry, I'm no threat to the ancient Dragon Star, and even less to the Golden Dragon Clan. I just don't want to cause trouble. He wiped away the blood at the corner of his mouth. He had also been injured in this battle. Killing Ao Yunlong was not as simple as he had imagined, but it made Jiang Chen's blood boil. This was because the Genesis Chi here was far too dense. It was very likely that he would be able to obtain a burst of Genesis Chi here. As long as he succeeded, his strength would surely soar. The Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss was definitely a treasure trove. It was like an unending spring, inexhaustible and inexhaustible. I hope so, but it won't be easy for us to leave now. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes were filled with complicated emotions. However, she knew very well that Jiang Chen had no intention of harming her. She hoped that what he said was true, that he was just a passerby in the ancient Dragon Star. What a good Jiang Chen. You do have some skills to be able to kill Ao Yunlong. Looks like the people of our Mo family really died in your hands. Mo Qi Lung Lung said. The three had also awoken from their cultivation. The battle between Jiang Chen and Ao Yunlong was indeed earth-shattering. 3 heroes against Ao Yunlong, but Jiang Chen and the others had also suffered varying degrees of injuries. So what if I am, so what if I'm not? Do the 3 of you also want to fight? Jiang Chen looked steadily at the Mo Qi trio. You guessed right. If we don't kill you, how can we face our dead brothers? Your appearance has disrupted all the plans of our eternal dragon clan, so you must die. To atone for the sins of our Mo clan brothers, all 3 of you must die. Mo Ri sneered. To be able to kill Ao Yunlong, it means that you have something to rely on. No wonder our people all died in your hands. However, today is the day of your death. Once we kill you, we will be able to rest easy. Mo Guang squinted his eyes. The disdain on his face was obvious. You Mo clan members have gone too far. Jin Xiaoxiao was solemn. She knew they could not run anymore. Plus, they were badly injured. If they wanted to fight against the 3, they would most likely lose. Let's try then. Jiang Chen said fearlessly. You are no match for us now. Even Ao Yunlong is just a paper tiger in front of the three of us. Xueqi shouted. The aura of the three suddenly skyrocketed. The three of them had all broken through to the seventh sky of Star Emperor realm. Jin Xiaoxiao's face changed. She took 2 steps back, her eyes filled with desperation. They didn't stand a chance against 3 experts at the 7th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. Even if Ao Yunlong was an idiot, he would have paid a great price. However, the 3 people from the Mo clan had all broken through. It was a nightmare for them. They could not even die together with the 3 7th sky of Star Emperor realm experts. The 3 of them had no chance of winning against any one of them, let alone 3 experts. Zhang Chen's eyes narrowed gradually. No wonder the 3 of them were so confident. It turned out that they had broken through to the 7th sky of Star Emperor realm. It seemed they were doomed. Hand over the Chaos Source Orb, and I might leave you a whole corpse. Xueqi said indifferently. That's right. Don't make things difficult for yourself. Otherwise, we won't be merciful. We'll make you wish you were dead. Gagaga. Mo Guang's feminine laughter echoed in the underground square. Their fighting will was also extremely excited. They wanted to fight to the death with Zhang Chen. They wanted to see how strong the 7th sky of Star Emperor realm was. They could not wait any longer. It's useless to say more. If you want to kill me, you have to do it. Zhang Chen said in a deep voice. He glanced at the 3 of them. This time, even he was not confident. The 3 of them were too strong. Even if he was at his peak, he might not be able to compete with them. It was indeed the most dangerous moment. I'll send you away first. Don't look back. I can't leave. Zhang Chen said to Jin Xiaoxiao secretly. Jin Xiaoxiao looked at him in surprise. He still had a backup plan? But could he really leave? No. I can't leave you alone. Jin Xiaoxiao was very determined. Zhang Chen had never given up on her. If she abandoned him now, she would never be able to rest in peace. There's no time to explain. Helping you leave is already the biggest limit. Do you think I would choose to stay here if I could leave? The 3 of them are too strong. I can't escape at all. So, I can only send you away. It's death either way. It's the same for 1 person or 2 people. Why do you have to sacrifice your life? Zhang Chen shook his head slightly. He was already prepared to send Jin Xiaoxiao out of this place at any time. The stairway to heaven could help her leave the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. However, it would be difficult for Zhang Chen to leave this place. After all, these 3 men would never give him any chance to escape. If he wanted to bring someone away, the difficulty would increase exponentially. Instead of letting Jin Xiaoxiao wait for her death here, it would be better for him to send her away with all his might. You want to leave? You want to scheme against us? Ha ha ha, you're too naive, Zhang Chen. Mo Ri's laughter was full of mockery. Didn't anyone tell you that in the face of absolute power, all schemes will be useless? Chapter 4708. If we live together. If we die together. Jin Xiaoxiao was still as resolute and unwavering as ever. In her eyes, there was only Zhang Chen. The mountains had no edges. The heavens and the earth had merged together. She dared not be severed by him. In Jin Xiaoxiao's heart, Zhang Chen was the one she had been waiting for all these years. He was the 3rd Prince Charming of her dreams. She wanted to leave this place and see the outside world. Whether or not Zhang Chen could take her away, she would not regret it. The ancient dragon star was her home. However, she would not be satisfied if she was trapped here for the rest of her life. There would always be someone better than her. She never thought that she would be stuck in a corner of the ancient dragon star. She wanted to leave and go further to find her dream. Zhang Chen was her hope. He was the only one she could rely on. At first, Jin Xiaoxiao did not want to admit it. How could she fall in love with someone who was weaker than her? However, she understood later that love did not discriminate between countries. It did not discriminate between races. It did not discriminate between people. As long as there was love in one's heart, nothing would be a problem. However, Jin Xiaoxiao also understood that the love in Zhang Chen's heart was not for her. In his eyes, there was always a melancholy and depth that she could not understand. On his shoulders, there was a weight that she did not know. However, she was still willing to follow him to the end of her life. Zhang Chen smiled bitterly. This girl was stubborn. He was not a fool. How could he not know what she was thinking? However, he was not in the mood to think about anything else. He just wanted to leave the ancient dragon star as soon as possible. However, this was his last gamble. He did not want to implicate anyone. Since you are so stubborn, I will send you on your way. As for Jin Xiaoxiao, the three of us will enjoy her here. Ha 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 ha, said Emori with a cold smile. His eyes were fixed on Jin Xiaoxiao. To them, this woman was a delicacy. In the entire ancient dragon star, Jin Xiaoxiao's peerless charm was famous. Who didn't want to get close to her? Such a woman, to them, was already enough to make their hearts run wild. Apart from authority and power, what men liked the most were women. If they wanted to become supreme kings, they needed a woman who was worthy of them. However, at this moment, there was only desire in their eyes. So much so that their eyes were filled with desire. A bunch of scum. Even if I die, I won't let you have your way. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes were on the verge of splitting apart, and her eyes carried the resolution of facing death with equanimity. There's no point in talking anymore. Let's do it. I can't wait any longer. He. Mo Guang's smile was also rather wretched. His eyes continuously swept across Jin Xiaoxiao's body as his heart was extremely agitated. Kill. At Mo Qi's order, the three of them directly rushed to Jiang Chen and the others. How confident are you, Black King? Jiang Chen looked at the Black King. I can stop one of them at most. As for the other two, I can't do anything. The Black King looked a bit bitter. Do your best. At the critical moment, send her out for me. Jiang Chen squinted his eyes slightly. Okay. The Black King did not hesitate at all, because his mission was to obey absolutely. The battle between the two sides was about to start at any moment. Mo Qi took the lead, dashing directly to Jiang Chen. His momentum was overwhelming. The Black King fought against Mo Guang, and Jin Xiaoxiao fought against Mo Ri. However, there was a huge gap between their combat strengths. As soon as they started to fight, Jiang Chen felt great pressure. Fighting against Mo Qi, a star emperor at the seventh heaven, was already too much for him. Moreover, he had been seriously injured before. Taking advantage of this moment, Mo Qi and his companions did not give them any chance to breathe. The Sky Dragon sword swept out. Fighting against Mo Qi, Jiang Chen exerted the ancient soaring dragon skill, and his strength rose again and again. However, it was still a drop in the bucket. Mo Qi's strength was not inferior to Ao Yunlong's, and even more formidable. As time went by, the gap between their combat strengths became more and more obvious. Jiang Chen could only retreat passively. His footsteps were disordered, and it became very difficult for him to fight against Mo Qi. Jin Xiaoxiao was not much better than Jiang Chen. Mo Ri cared about her very much. After a crazy chase, Jin Xiaoxiao could only run for her life. Jiang Chen could still fight against Mo Qi for a while, but Jin Xiaoxiao could not stand firm anymore. If it went on like this, she would definitely lose soon. Although the Black King could restrain Mo Guang, he could not turn the situation around at all. At this moment, Jiang Chen and Jin Xiaoxiao had reached the most dangerous moment. Both of them were in a very worrying situation, and they could die at any time. Jiang Chen looked at them coldly and fearlessly. At this moment, they had to make the final decision, because they could not afford to wait any longer. They would die if they fought for a long time. There was no time or opportunity. Now was the most critical moment. Success or failure depended on this moment. Black King, go. With a cold look in his eyes, Jiang Chen activated the sky ascending stairway. The Black King nodded slightly and retreated. He grabbed Jin Xiaoxiao's arm and stepped on the sky ascending stairway, soaring upwards. What? Mo Qi did not expect the Black King to be able to take them away from here. They wanted to fly up, but found that it was impossible. On this square they could only leap. It was impossible to fly in the air because the flowing Genesis Qi had made the underground square very unstable. It was impossible for them to fly into the sky. But how did the Black King do it? Mo Qi and the other two didn't expect the Black King to have such a trick up his sleeves. Did that mean that they could probably leave this place? Jiang Chen, you liar! Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes were bloodshot, and she roared at the top of her voice. She did not expect Jiang Chen to let the Black King take her away. But what should he do? He had to face 3 experts at the 7th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. Live well. You may be the only one who can leave this abyss. Jiang Chen smiled. As he retreated, he stood in front of Mo-chi and the other two, blocking their way. We have to go too. We have to leave this place as soon as possible. That's right. Otherwise, there's nothing we can do. There's something strange about this Jiang Chen. We can't let him go. As long as we catch him, we can leave this place. The three made up their minds. It was only a matter of time before they caught Jiang Chen and left this place. Jiang Chen was fighting 1 against 3, and it was extremely difficult and miserable. Jin Xiaoxiao's tears fell like rain. She watched Jiang Chen's retreating figure and the 3 Mo brothers' anxious gazes. She was filled with killing intent, but Jiang Chen became more and more passive. His life was hanging by a thread. Boo! Jin Xiaoxiao felt as if a knife was twisting in her heart. She knew that Jiang Chen had no hope left. Blood kept spurting out, and his chances of survival were slim. The 3 Mo brothers would definitely kill him. He was already an arrow at the end of its flight, and his life was hanging by a thread. Damn it! Chapter 4709. The Black King stepped on the Sky Ascension stairway. No matter how Jin Xiaoxiao struggled, there was no result. In less than a quarter of an hour, they left the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss and appeared in the valley. At that instant, everyone's gazes converged onto the bodies of the Black King and Jin Xiaoxiao. Mo Xiaolong and Jin Yiba hurriedly appeared by their sides, their gazes filled with doubt. That's because there was actually a person that they did not recognize beside Jin Xiaoxiao. That fellow did not seem to be someone from this ranking tournament. He's out, he's out. Quick, look. Why is there only Jin Xiaoxiao? Where are the others? Yeah, who is that? Why haven't I seen him before? That person is definitely not someone from this year's ranking tournament. He's not from our Eternal Dragon Clan. He's not from our Golden Dragon Clan either. In an instant, the crowd was in chaos. What's going on? Where are they? Why did you come back alone? Mo Xiaolong said with a serious expression, looking at Jin Xiaoxiao. If Master is in trouble, I will follow him to the end of my life. Take care, Mississippi. The Black King retreated and leaped into the abyss once again. Everyone's faces turned pale as they watched nervously. Xiaoxiao, what's going on? Where's Jiang Chen? Does he still want him? Jin Yiba asked. Jiang Chen was their Golden Dragon Clan's most outstanding genius in so many years. His grade 9 dragon vein was unparalleled. Whether the Golden Dragon Clan could rise again depended on him. Yeah, where's our proud Sky Dragon Clan's proud Cloud Dragon? Han Che asked impatiently. Everyone stared at Jin Xiaoxiao. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes were filled with despair. She shook her head continuously. Jiang Chen was dead. The Mo clan would never be able to leave alive. It was impossible to escape from the abyss. If not for Jiang Chen using his unique method to send her out of the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss, she wouldn't have been able to escape. Unfortunately, because of her, Jiang Chen was destined to be killed by the Eternal Dragon Clan. Even if the Black King returned to the abyss, he would only be sending another corpse. Jiang Chen risked his life to send me out. No one else will come out, Jin Xiaoxiao murmured. Mo Xiaolong, Han Che and Jin Yibai's expressions changed drastically. You guys went to the deepest part of the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. Jin Yibai sucked in a breath of cold air. But Jin Xiaoxiao didn't say anything. She just silently walked forward like a walking corpse. Dead, all dead, Han Che said with a bitter smile. He didn't expect to be completely annihilated in this ranking tournament. But not only him, even the experts of the Eternal Dragon Clan were all annihilated. None of them were spared. Jin Xiaoxiao could come out because she was forcefully pushed out. Why won't they listen to my advice? They're just a bunch of arrogant lunatics, always thinking that they're heaven's chosen ones, able to defy the heavens and change their fates, different from others. What a bastard. Mo Xiaolong's face was full of anger. He was very clear about the dangers of the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss, because he had also come out from there in the past, but he didn't go deeper. None of the people who went there came back alive. But now, Jin Xiaoxiao had become the only one, and also an exception to the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. Unfortunately, everyone was dead. The ranking tournament became a farce. None of the 4 great dragon clans were winners. The only thing that made Jin Yibai feel somewhat relieved was that he didn't have to send off his son. But the hope of the Golden Dragon clan's rise had also been destroyed at this moment. There was only disappointment and sorrow in everyone's eyes. Those who died, whether it was their relatives or their friends, had already left. Then there was no need for them to continue staying here. No matter who it was, when they looked at the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss, there was a trace of fear in their eyes. Even Mo Xiaolong was no exception. The unknown was the most dangerous, because they didn't know what kind of existence was under the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. At this moment, under the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss, when the Black King returned, Jiang Chen had already been defeated. He kept retreating, and it was very dangerous. He could even die at any time. Master! The Black King's face changed, and he hurriedly blocked the three of them. But it was of no use, because their opponents were too strong. They couldn't resist the attack of Mo Qi and the other two. Jiang Chen, as long as you can help us leave this place, we can let you go. Mo Qi said in a deep voice, and the 9-feet-long spear in his hand pressed towards Jiang Chen. Dream on. Don't even think about leaving this place. Jiang Chen let out an icy chuckle. The reason he hadn't left was because he wanted to fight to the death with these people. Moreover, the Genesis Chi Stone Well was too domineering and very useful. If he left so easily, wouldn't all his previous efforts be in vain? He wanted to complete a transformation in the Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss. With enough Genesis Chi, he would surely be able to rise to the next level. This place was an incomparable treasure trove. Then just wait for your death. Even without you, we can still leave this place. Mo Ri roared in anger, killing intent surging from his body. He was determined to kill this fiend. That may not be true. Who will live and who will die is still not certain. Jiang Chen fiercely wiped away the blood at the corner of his mouth. His eyes burned with an increasingly intense desire to fight. He was finally going to unleash his full power at this very moment. He didn't dare to use his full power because Jin Xiaoxiao was around. If he hurt the innocent, he would likely feel guilty for the rest of his life because even he might not be able to fully control this power. You still dare to be so stubborn even at death's door. You're too arrogant. I'll send you to the underworld today. Mo Qi charged at the front. Once they captured Jiang Chen, would he still have to be obedient? If they wanted to leave this place, their only hope was Jiang Chen. The Black King did not hesitate to charge forward. Jiang Chen was his master. Even if he had to die, he would die in front of Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's eyes were fierce, and his breathing was rapid. At that moment, his body turned dark, and a deep blue light flickered in his eyes like crisscrossing sword chi. However, it was sharper than the sword chi. A blue storm gradually formed around him. Mo Qi and the other two were stunned. What kind of technique was this? They had never seen it before. Moreover, Jiang Chen's power seemed to have undergone a tremendous change at this moment, becoming stronger and stronger. Rays of deep blue light entered Jiang Chen's body, and Jiang Chen's aura suddenly soared. What the hell? Mo Ri knitted his brows. However, in the eyes of the three experts at the 7th layer of the Star Emperor realm, no matter how amazing Jiang Chen was, he could not escape from their palms. I don't know. Mo Qi forced the Black King to retreat. With a roar, he swept his long spear and smashed at Jiang Chen. He did not want to give Jiang Chen any chance, so he had to seize the opportunity to attack. If he delayed, something unexpected would happen. Starlight entered the body. Jiang Chen looked steadily forward, and his murderous aura filled the air. His whole body became much darker, and the blue aura spread all over his body, rising like fire. The power of stars gradually gathered. Jiang Chen held the Sky Dragon sword tightly with both hands and took a step forward. With the sword in his hand, he cut through the wind and waves. Chapter 47:10. Jiang Chen tried his best to hack at the sky. The expressions of Mo Qi and the other two changed drastically. Instantly, they felt desperate. They tried their best to resist Jiang Chen's attack. However, the dark blue sword shadow fell from the sky with the power to destroy the world. It was too powerful, too fierce, and too domineering. Even though the three of them gathered all their strength, they were still no match for Jiang Chen. They were cut down by the sword directly and fell to the ground in embarrassment. Their bones and tendons were all broken, and their cultivation was cut off. Dark blue light and shadows appeared on them. The three of them could not believe that Jiang Chen could kill them with one attack even at the moment of their death. That attack was like a punishment from heaven. They could not dodge it. The sword came from the east and destroyed the sky. The astral pole finally reappeared in the world. The Black King was extremely excited. There were even hot tears in his eyes. He had not seen this day for a long time. Although only starlight entered his body, the Black King had already sensed Jiang Chen's invincible power. The change of stars was the infinity of the universe. It could evolve into infinite power. Otherwise, how could the Eternal Lord be so afraid of it? This attack killed Mo Chi and the other two without a burial place. They lost all their vitality. This attack directly made Jiang Chen's strength achieve a super leap. The 3 experts in the 7th heaven of the Star Emperor realm died on the spot under this attack. Jiang Chen also fell to the ground. He was extremely weak. His body was completely hollowed out in an instant. The power of stars was indescribable. Even Jiang Chen himself was shocked. This attack was so powerful that he could not hold it anymore. However, it also consumed all his strength. The power of stars was extremely powerful. Jiang Chen smiled slightly. He felt relieved. This attack would be remembered by him forever. At least I didn't disgrace Senior. Jiang Chen let out a long sigh of relief. The power of the astral pole was beyond his imagination. He would have another trump card in the future, but he would not use it easily. Previously, the Black King had said that the astral pole was a treasure that even the Eternal Lord was looking for. A gentleman's innocence would arouse the envy of others. Once the astral pole was found in his possession, it would not be a good thing. The gods could only bring death upon him. Unless it was absolutely necessary, Jiang Chen would still choose to hide it. Congratulations, Master. You've completely mastered the astral pole. The Black King knelt on one knee and said with a face full of joy. I've only cultivated a little. Jiang Chen said with a wry smile. Although it was just a little, it had benefited him a lot. He had never heard of the power of the stars. From now on, he had to be even more of a slave and cultivate the astral pole. Only then could he set foot on the top of the stars. I'd better recover my body first. These 4 people all have chaos orbs on them. You should quickly find them and refine them. Jiang Chen said. Although he had killed Mo Chi and the other 2 people in this battle, he had also narrowly escaped death. The Black King was overjoyed after hearing this. He hurriedly searched the bodies of Mo Chi, the other 2 people, and Ao Yunlong. Sure enough, there were 4 chaos orbs, which made him extremely happy. Master, I always feel that there's something strange about this stone well. You'd better be careful. The Black King said with a frown. The Genesis Chi is endless and has even disturbed the entire void. That's why people can't fly in the air. The density of the Genesis Chi is indeed the highest I've ever seen in my life. Jiang Chen pondered, but he didn't find anything strange about this place. The only strange thing was the endless Genesis Chi. But it was clearly a treasure. Jiang Chen was puzzled. He also knew that there must be a reason for this abnormality, but he couldn't find any clues. In the end, he shook his head and began to prepare for cultivation. After all, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He had to make a breakthrough before making any plans. Unknowingly, Jiang Chen immersed himself in cultivation. The devouring power of the astral pole was even more terrifying. In less than 10 days, his strength had reached the peak of the 3rd level of the Star Emperor realm. After another month, he directly broke through to the 4th level of the Star Emperor realm. Jiang Chen still didn't have any intention of stopping. Even with his powerful devouring power, he was still extremely shocked. Even so, the Genesis Chi in the stone well was still endless and showed no signs of drying up. Jiang Chen simply stopped thinking about it. But at this time, Jiang Chen saw that the Black King had broken through to the 8th level of the Star Emperor realm. The 4 chaos orbs, coupled with the terrifying Genesis Chi here, naturally made his harvest unparalleled. Moreover, Jiang Chen also saw many demonic beasts in the Buddha prison tower. All of their strength had improved by leaps and bounds, which made him particularly excited. It won't be long before this terrifying beast army will be able to reach another level. Jiang Chen smiled happily. The Genesis Chi in his body was rising at an astonishing speed, and Jiang Chen was already accustomed to it. But at this time, he was about to make another breakthrough, but he found that many of the demonic beasts around him had died. How could this be? Jiang Chen's expression changed dramatically. Dozens of demonic beasts that had just broken through to the Star Emperor realm had died, which made him quite shocked and puzzled. Jiang Chen carefully observed and found that these demonic beasts weren't injured at all, but they died for no reason. Moreover, the Genesis Qi in their bodies was extremely rich, and they were in the middle of cultivation. Why did they die like that? That wasn't the end. Jiang Chen found that the demonic beasts at the Star Lord level cultivating in the Buddha prison tower were even more irritable. Many of them were already attacking each other, as though they were fighting to the death. Hundreds of demonic beasts had died in the Buddha prison tower. Jiang Chen was increasingly horrified. What the hell is going on? Master, I'm about to break through to the 9th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. Ha ha ha. The Black King said excitedly. His eyes were blazing, and the Genesis Qi he was devouring was quite domineering. His whole body was on fire. Something's wrong. Jiang Chen took a deep breath. A thought flashed in his mind, and he seemed to find something wrong. Stop cultivating. Jiang Chen shouted in a deep voice. The Black King's face was full of shock, but the look in his eyes was extremely complicated. Didn't you tell us to cultivate? Master, why can't we cultivate again? The Black King said. There's something strange about this Genesis Qi. Jiang Chen said. What's strange? The Black King was taken aback. Look, almost all the demonic beasts that had broken through to the Star Emperor realm are dead, and they died without any warning. The Black King looked at the hundreds of demonic beasts behind him. Indeed, dozens of them had fallen to the ground, without any signs of life. The Black King's face was deathly pale. He looked at Jiang Chen and said in disbelief, Master, how could this be? The Black King was completely dumbfounded. He didn't expect so many demonic beasts to die. There was no danger at all, and there were no signs of them being killed. They were all cultivating normally, but they had fallen just like that. It was really amazing. It should be the Genesis Qi's doing. Chapter 47:11. What? Genesis Qi? How is this possible? Nothing is impossible. I finally understand why Ao Yunlong would suddenly attack me. The 3 Mo clan brothers were also impatient to fight with me because their breakthroughs were too quick, causing the Genesis Qi in their bodies to be unstable. Moreover, it's the same logic as boiling a frog in warm water. Once we are enveloped by Genesis Qi, we will no longer feel any danger from it. In truth, Genesis Qi does not pose any threat to us. It's just that we are too greedy and like a snake trying to swallow an elephant, we want to continue our cultivation and devour Genesis Qi. Hence we ended up in this state. The Genesis Qi in our bodies is not sufficiently fused, and as more and more Genesis Qi accumulates, they are unable to control it. In the end, when the Genesis Qi reaches an uncontrollable level, their bodies will explode and they will die. There are no signs of a struggle, and their sudden deaths can only be explained by this. When that happens, it will not be us devouring Genesis Qi, but the Genesis Qi devouring us. Jiang Chen's heart could not help but shudder. Although there was no danger here, the endless Genesis Qi was like an invisible blade. As long as they continued to cultivate, they would be devoured by the Genesis Qi. This was an endless cycle. If you wanted to leave, you had no choice but to cultivate and grow stronger. The stronger you cultivated, the more the Genesis Qi would devour you. When that happened, the Genesis Qi would swell to a point where you would no longer be able to control it, and death would follow. Isn't this a little too frightening? Black King pondered for a moment and said in disbelief. If it wasn't for Jiang Chen's words, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to understand it and might even die here. This is the strange part of this place. Moreover, there is no danger at all, as if it's an unparalleled treasure land. Who would have thought that it's actually hell? Just the thought of it made Jiang Chen shiver with fear. If he had not discovered so many demonic beasts dying unnatural deaths, he may have gradually fallen into this place, unable to extricate himself. In the end, he would be devoured by the Genesis Qi and forever be buried here. What should we do now? The Black King was at a loss for a time, not knowing what to do as he looked towards Jiang Chen. Inform all demonic beasts to stop cultivating and seal their 8 extraordinary meridians. I want to see exactly what kind of existence is hidden beneath this stone well. Jiang Chen's eyes turned frosty as his breathing turned heavy. Should he just leave like this? Jiang Chen didn't want to give up. This was such a good opportunity, such a good place, and he might never have the chance to come back again. Also, he wouldn't be able to calm down if he didn't find out the truth. As the saying goes, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Moreover, He had no other way now. Master, I'll go scout ahead, the Black King said solemnly. There's no need. Your strength isn't stable yet. Go and arrange for the rest of your subordinates. I'll be back soon, Jiang Chen said. The Black King was touched. Not only did his master care about his subordinates, but he also did not treat them as cannon fodder. He would rather put himself in danger. He did not follow the wrong person, and the old master did not choose the wrong people. Jiang Chen walked into the stone well step by step. Although it was less than 10 feet in diameter, it was enough to accommodate a person. Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes, looked at the bottomless stone well, and jumped in. Endless Genesis Qi rushed into his body. The moment Jiang Chen jumped into the stone well, he felt an unprecedented pressure, as if it was caused by the Genesis Qi. However, he could not help but feel his scalp go numb. What kind of place was this? He had never experienced such a place before. The bottom of the stone well was like an abyss, without a bottom. Moreover, he had dived for a long time, but he still could not fly in the air. If not for the sky ascension stairs, Jiang Chen would have fallen to his death. The surroundings were hazy and emitted a deep light, but Jiang Chen could feel an incomparable heat. Even the many heavenly flames in his hands could not stop the heat. The world is big, and there are all kinds of strange things. It seems that I was really blind before. Jiang Chen couldn't help but sigh. The environment here was full of unknown and danger to him. Only now did he understand how arrogant he was. Before entering this universe, he thought that he was already the ruler of the 3 worlds. But now, he understood that he still had a long way to go. At least, he had only touched the threshold of the astral. Jiang Chen didn't expect that Jiang Chen would be so arrogant. Chi, an ear-piercing buzzing sound caused Jiang Chen's eyes to flicker. His expression turned solemn, and he suddenly turned his head, only to see a giant creature slowly walking over. The reason why it was called a giant creature was because Jiang Chen really did not know what it was. A dragon head, a human body, 8 legs, and a single horn. It was different from his own dragon body. Jiang Chen was sure that he had never seen such a thing in his life. It was strong, very strong. Its body was milky white and round, but its 8 divine hook-like claws were terrifying. They were thicker and more domineering than dragon claws. What the hell is this? Jiang Chen knitted his brows in a frown, as though he was facing a great enemy. Who are you? Jiang Chen asked in a deep voice, but the giant creature did not answer. Its eyes were exuding endless anger, but its gaze was dull and lifeless, seemingly more like chaos. It seems to be an idiot, Jiang Chen murmured. But the giant creature was shrouded in a sea of Genesis Qi, and Jiang Chen did not feel the slightest aura of life. It was not that it had concealed itself well, but that it did not belong to any living body. Roar! The giant creature roared. Jiang Chen could feel its strong aggressiveness. It seemed that a fierce battle was unavoidable. The strength of this guy was incomparable to before. Not good. Master is in trouble. Black King's heart sank. He immediately went into the well. The moment he came out, Jiang Chen and the white giant had already engaged in a fierce battle. However, Jiang Chen was in a passive position. The white giant had 8 legs and its attacks were ruthless. Although it didn't use any special moves, it was still very overbearing. It made Jiang Chen feel an unprecedented pressure. Even when he was fighting against the 3 Mo brothers, he didn't feel this strong. Jiang Chen didn't feel this strong. Not good, it's a sense spirit, the Black King said in a low voice. Sense spirit. Jiang Chen was stunned, his heart filled with doubt. It's the product of countless vengeful spirits gathered together and reforged from Genesis Qi. It has already developed a part of its intelligence, and is extremely terrifying. It's not even a demonic beast. In short, it's extremely difficult to deal with. When I followed my master to search for the stars in the heavens, I also encountered such a thing. Fortunately, it hadn't fully formed yet. Otherwise, it would be a new creature with endless Genesis Qi as its backing. It would be almost immortal and immortal. Chapter 47:12. What a vengeful spirit. In other words, there is likely to be a star nucleus here? Apart from being shocked, Jiang Chen's expression was also filled with astonishment. If he could really find a star core in this place, wouldn't that mean his stellar astral would be able to complete its transformation? Fortune comes from danger. There was a glimmer of anticipation and excitement in Jiang Chen's eyes. No matter what kind of monster this perception spirit was, he must kill it. It's possible. The Black King pondered. However, at this moment, the perception spirit had already charged forward again. It was without any moves, but it gave people an extremely abnormal feeling. Its power had no upper limit, and even Jiang Chen could not withstand its sharpness. The Black King could only fight passively. The two of them joined hands, but they still could not resist the perception spirit, which made Jiang Chen miserable. This guy is too difficult to deal with. Black King, do you know its weakness? Jiang Chen said in a low voice. In the face of endless giant claws tearing through the air, the perception spirit's momentum was even stronger. The continuous supply of Genesis Qi was the foundation of its invincibility. Without any hesitation, it charged towards Jiang Chen again and again. Jiang Chen, with his invincible body, could not threaten it. If this continued, he might be tortured to death by the perception spirit. The dragon claws were as heavy as 1,000 caddies. The Black King, who was at the 8th heaven of the Star Emperor realm, could only fight desperately, but it was useless. To restrain this damn thing, only a powerful living spirit can do it. The Black King smiled bitterly. A powerful living spirit, Jiang Chen murmured. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. He knew how to deal with the perception spirit. He took out the heavenly dragon sword and activated the sword spirit. The sword Qi was thousands of feet long, and the sword spirit was matchless. A dragon's soul surged out. The shadow of the dragon was graceful, and its power shook the sky. The living soul of the sky dragon sword was an existence that even Jiang Chen could not completely control. This time, it was all up to it. Whether or not it could defeat the spirit depended on this one move. The appearance of the dragon's soul really made the thought spirit passive, and its whole body seemed to be extremely restless. Jiang Chen saw that there was a chance, so he stood up with his sword and activated the sword soul again. The dragon's soul came out of its body, lingering in the void, and entangling the thought spirit. The two soul shadows kept tearing each other, and with the help of Jiang Chen's supreme sword Qi, they began to fight back. The Black King followed closely behind and assisted Jiang Chen, forcing the terrifying Xueqi spirit to retreat again. With the dragon's soul at the forefront, Jiang Chen and the Black King were like tigers that had grown wings. The Xueqi spirit was forced to retreat again and again. Roar! The thought spirit let out a roar of unwillingness. However, at this time, the heavenly dragon sword soul seemed to be even more violent. It actually began to devour the thought spirit. Good heavens! Jiang Chen was extremely excited. The heavenly dragon sword soul was going to take the thought spirit as its own. Let's explode and devour it completely. Jiang Chen's eyes were like torches, like an angry King Kong. Killing the thought spirit was just around the corner. As time went by, the dragon soul gradually devoured the thought spirit. Jiang Chen and the Black King also pursued it crazily, and finally defeated it completely. After the dragon soul devoured the thought spirit, Jiang Chen also felt the terror of the heavenly dragon sword. The sword soul of the heavenly dragon sword had grown to a point where he could not control it. However, he was the master of the heavenly dragon sword after all. Although it was difficult to control the sword soul, it did not hinder the growth of the heavenly dragon sword. The heavenly dragon sword had even reached the level of an 8th grade battle weapon. Its terror was self-evident. Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword in his hand and roared towards the sky. At that moment, the sword soul of the heavenly dragon sword was like a punishment from the heavens. The dragon roared towards the 9 heavens. Even the entire abyss was filled with the roar of the dragon. This sword is too powerful. The Black King could not help but say. Because the sword soul was strong, the heavenly dragon sword was also strong. Therefore, the power displayed was also wonderful. Jiang Chen's supreme sword art and the heavenly dragon sword were simply flawless. Jiang Chen waved the sword and danced. The sword Qi roared. At that moment, he was constantly searching for the perfect intersection with the sword. The current Jiang Chen thought that he was not worthy of the heavenly dragon sword, but he never slacked off. At the beginning of man, his nature was good. At the beginning of the sword, it was to resist the cold wind. Between the palm and the sword could shock the wind. Jiang Chen's limitless sword once again had a new realization. The strength of the heavenly dragon sword made Jiang Chen more and more powerful. Jiang Chen's strength also made the limitless sword have a different kind of breakthrough. The limitless sword, the swordless realm, the strength of the sword, the strength of the realm. Jiang Chen's heart was not distracted. He waved the sword and sprinkled the rain. The 27th blade had already reached its peak. At this moment, there was a turning point. The 27th blade had finally broken through and reached a new height. The 28th blade. The momentum of the sword led the tide of swordsmanship. Jiang Chen's eyes were full of joy. This time, it could be said to be a double blessing. Not only did the heavenly dragon sword have a qualitative improvement, but the limitless sword also had a new change. The 28th blade had perfectly overlapped with the heavenly dragon sword. The power of the sword and the 100 changes of swordsmanship overlapped one after another. Congratulations, Master. The Black King's eyes were shining. Jiang Chen's swordsmanship and momentum were completely different. At this moment, he felt a great sense of oppression. This sword came and went like the wind. Even the 8th heaven of the Star Emperor was no match for his master. Although the perception spirit has been broken, the Genesis Chi here is still endless. It seems that the star nucleus you mentioned may really be here. Jiang Chen's eyes narrowed. He scanned the surroundings of the stone well, but found nothing. Should he continue to look for it? Jiang Chen asked himself. He had to keep looking for it. Once he found the star nucleus, his strength would improve more than just a little. Although there is no life in the star nucleus, it is the core of a planet. Its energy is extremely terrifying, and it is very likely to devour you. Master, you must think twice before you act. Back then, the old master also reached the stellar level before he dared to swallow the star nucleus, but he still narrowly escaped death and was almost swallowed by the star nucleus. The Black King said in a low voice, as a form of warning. However, he knew that the temper of this new master of his was even more stubborn than that of his old master. Now that he was about to obtain the star core and refine the astral, how could he choose to retreat? Entering a treasure mountain and returning empty-handed was not his character. I know, but I have to do this. Only when I become strong enough can I have more chances to find my child. The image of that stubborn and tough child emerged in Jiang Chen's eyes, which was exactly the same as his younger self. Father will definitely find you at the ends of the earth. Jiang Chen clenched his fists tightly. He could not retreat, and he had no reason to. Don't worry, I will be fine. It's just the star nucleus. I will find it no matter where I go. After speaking, Jiang Chen dashed deeper into the void. He only had one goal, and that was to find the star nucleus. Find the core of the ancient dragon star. Chapter 47:13. Jiang Chen dove all the way down. There was an end to the abyss, but there was no end to the stone well. He was surrounded by chaos and mist. There were only two things that made him feel deeply. One was that the Genesis Chi was getting denser and denser, and the other was that it was getting hotter and hotter. It was a heat that came from the bottom of his heart and made him restless. Not only was the surface of his skin hot, but the fire in his heart seemed to be gushing out. Even though Jiang Chen had the protection of the 5 elemental divine fire, it was still like trying to put out a burning cart of firewood with a cup of water. It was impossible to resist the terrifying heat. Without the protection of the 5 elemental divine fire, Jiang Chen believed that ordinary people would have been melted and turned to ashes long ago. It's too hot here. Isn't it too strange? Jiang Chen scrunched his brows in a frown, and sweat constantly flowed down his body. As time passed, Jiang Chen felt that his internal organs were about to explode from the heat. In the end, all the sweat on his body evaporated, and even the 5 elemental divine fire was like trying to put out a burning cart of firewood with a cup of water. Jiang Chen continued to dive deeper. He didn't know how much time had passed or where he had reached. He only knew that he was about to reach the limit of his body in the heat, but he still couldn't find the location of the star core. I must find you. Jiang Chen was increasingly certain that there must be a star core here. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so difficult to move an inch. Every once in a while, the heat in his body would invade his body again and again, as if his tendons and bones were being torn apart and his flesh was being torn apart. But Jiang Chen still gritted his teeth and endured. No one knew how much pain he was in, and no one knew what he had experienced. During this trip to the abyss, Jiang Chen had likely reached the bottom of the earth. Finally, the heavens didn't disappoint those who tried. Jiang Chen finally arrived at the bottom of a rolling pool of lava. The lava was crimson and emitted boundless heat, making it extremely difficult for Jiang Chen to breathe. Waves of heat surged into the sky and assaulted his nostrils. The divine fire of 5 elements kept protecting Jiang Chen. The slightest mistake could cost Jiang Chen his life. Above the magma, Jiang Chen saw a fiery red oval sphere that was roughly 10 feet wide. It spun continuously as the air around it crackled. The surface of the sphere was uneven, but Jiang Chen could feel an incomparably terrifying Genesis chi pulsing from it. It's him. It was him. That was it. This is the ancient dragon planet's core. The Black King said excitedly from within the Buddha prison pagoda. His excitement was evident in his words. Are you saying that this huge fireball is the star core? A blazing light exploded in Jiang Chen's eyes. His pupils shrank, and his heart turned incomparably solemn. Star core. Had he finally found the star core? Jiang Chen rejoiced. If he had given up halfway, he might not have had any fate with the star core. However, he had risked his life to dive deep underground and searched for a long time. If not for the divine fire of 5 elements, he would not have been able to reach this place. No wonder the Black King had said that even his old master only dared to devour a star core after reaching the star stage. The environment here was already so terrifying that it left one speechless. Any expert below the star stage would undoubtedly die if they entered this place. The scorching fire energy was enough to melt them in an instant. That's right. This is the star's core, the source of energy for countless stars. The reason why a star can keep on rotating is because of the existence of the star's core. Combined with the gravitational force between the stars, it forms a star that keeps on rotating. It's a pity that this star core doesn't have much life left. It's only 10 feet in size. However, it's perfect for you to absorb. The largest star core I've ever seen was nearly 10,000 feet in size. It's pretty terrifying. Even so, this star core can support ancient dragon star for 1 billion years. The star power contained within is continuously compressed and baked by the geocentric star fire, causing the star power to burn and transform into Genesis chi that is continuously emitted from the depths of the planet's core. This is why the scene we saw earlier was formed. Without this stone well, the Genesis chi would seep through the ground and reach the surface of the planet. The intensity of the seepage would be different, and the Genesis veins would be formed. Some places would be filled with Genesis chi, while others would be extremely dry. The Black King's words were akin to enlightenment for Jiang Chen. It also made him realize that the origin of Genesis chi was the star core. A 10 feet large star core could support a star's Genesis chi for 1 billion years. It was pretty terrifying. In that case, if I swallow this planet core, won't I cause the collapse of ancient dragon star? Jiang Chen frowned and asked in a low voice. No, the star core is merely the core of the Genesis chi. When you saw this star core, the geocentric star fire had already burned half of the star core. In other words, the Genesis chi under the entire ancient dragon star is enough to support ancient dragon star for 1 billion years. Even if the heaviest ancient dragon star gradually loses its Genesis chi, ancient dragon star will not collapse. It will just become a barren land where the Genesis chi will gradually thin and become an abandoned planet. There are countless stars like this in the universe. Do you know how many years have passed in the universe? No one knows and no one knows. It's not easy to find a planet with a star core. Some of the bigger planets can still last for billions or even billions of years even after their star cores have been burned. Even a planet with lush foliage and dense Genesis chi may have lost its star core long ago. You're pretty lucky this time. The Black King explained to Jiang Chen. He did not seem to know much about the star core. Jiang Chen nodded silently. So that's how it was. Previously, he was worried that if he absorbed the star core, the entire ancient dragon star would be destroyed and billions of lives would be wiped out. If that happened, he would become a real homicidal maniac. It seems that my luck is pretty good. Otherwise, as you said, even a planet with dense Genesis chi could be useless. If I can't find a star core that's too big, I might not be able to bear it. Ha ha ha, even the heavens are helping me. Jiang Chen said excitedly. The geocentric starfire is too scary. Even my 5 elemental divine fire can't resist it. It would be perfect if I could absorb the geocentric starfire. Jiang Chen's eyes were filled with dissatisfaction and covetousness. You can't do that, master. This geocentric starfire is too domineering. It's impossible to keep it for yourself. Even the star core has been burned to nothingness. If you were to take it into your body, it would instantly melt. Chapter 47:14. Ha ha ha, I'm just saying. Jiang Chen looked at the geocentric starfire and felt a little unwilling. If he could get his hands on the geocentric starfire, it would be a trump card. Looking around, Jiang Chen suddenly found a corpse by the side of the magma. The body had been burnt, but the bones were not corroded. Jiang Chen was shocked. There was no protection in this place, and it had been burned by the Earth core starflame for so many years, but it was still safe and sound. How strong was the owner of this corpse? There's another mace? Jiang Chen noticed that beside the corpse, a greenish-yellow long mace attracted his attention. Jiang Chen fixed his eyes on it and became serious. This long mace was not any weaker than his heavenly dragon sword. What kind of treasure was this? Who was the owner of this corpse? Jiang Chen picked up the long mace. The moment he held it in his hand, an image of a man carrying a long mace on his back appeared in his mind. It was a majestic man with a majestic aura. His eyes were like golden crystals, looking down at the heavens. What an overbearing man. Young man, it is your good fortune that you can come to this place. Please carry my body back to the Eternal Dragon Tribe and this Konglong Jian will be yours. The Eternal Dragon Tribe will always be your friend. Also, I will give you a reverse dragon scale as a gift. My name is Great Sage Pingtian. If we are fated, we might meet again after 100 reincarnations. The man's voice was deep and powerful. Jiang Chen took a deep breath and suddenly opened his eyes. The Konglong mace in his hand was buzzing. He felt a terrifying aura coming from the Konglong mace. The aura of the person just now made Jiang Chen feel suffocated. He was too powerful. Jiang Chen had never seen such a powerful person before. He did not have the ability to resist at all. He did not even have the slightest intention to resist. In his other hand, a piece of reverse dragon scale appeared. Jiang Chen could not calm down for a long time. This person was from the Eternal Dragon Tribe. The Konglong mace was also extremely overbearing. It was not inferior to his heavenly dragon sword at all. It was even difficult for him to control. Another piece of reverse dragon scale. Jiang Chen now had 2 pieces of reverse dragon scale. His strength would definitely improve a lot. This is the Konglong mace? The Black King let out another cry of surprise. Could he be Great Sage Pingtian? That's impossible. How could a powerful and ruthless person like the Great Sage who pacifies heaven fall here? The Black King said in a deep voice. He said he was Great Sage Pingtian. Do you know him? Great Sage Pingtian? How could I not know? The Great Sage of the Heaven Leveling is an expert on the same level as my old master. The Konglong Jian is his peerless divine weapon. How could he have fallen here? In that case, he really is the Great Sage who pacifies heaven. The Black King said. No wonder. I was wondering why there was an abyssal stone well here that leads to the depths of the Earth's core. Did the Great Sage who pacified heaven want to devour this star core back then? Or was he injured by the geocentric star fire? That shouldn't be the case. Even after he died, the geocentric star fire couldn't melt his corpse. It was too difficult for an expert of his level to kill him. The only possibility was the star core. Although the star core looked ordinary, even an expert as powerful as the Great Sage of the Heaven Leveling could only look at it in the dust. He must have discovered the secret of the stellar core. In this universe, there aren't many people who know about the stellar core. How so? Jiang Chen was even more confused. I know about the existence of the star core in the Earth's core because of Old Master. There are probably no more than 3 to 5 people in the world who know about the secret of the geocentric star core. Everyone knows about the existence of Genesis Qi, but they don't know how it is produced. I told you before that Genesis Qi is produced by the geocentric star fire burning the stellar core. In addition to the Eternal Lord, my master also knows about it. It seems that Great Sage Pingtian also discovered this secret. However, do you think anyone can directly devour the power of the stars? Except for the astral pole created by Old Master, no one can solve the problem of devouring and changing the power of the stars. They can only devour Genesis Qi but not the power of the stars. At the end of the day, Great Sage Pingtian should have died because of his greed. He wanted to devour the stellar core, but he most likely suffered a backlash. The Black King couldn't help but sigh. The Great Sage who pacifies the heavens was a member of the Eternal Dragon Clan. Even in the Eternal World, he had a transcendent status. There weren't many who could be mentioned in the same breath as him. It's a pity that he died here. From what you said, It seems that great sage Ping Tian is a very righteous person. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel sorry for him. Jiang Chen said. Since he had taken great sage Ping Tian's Kong Long Jian and reverse dragon scale, it was only right for him to bring great sage Ping Tian's corpse back to the eternal dragon clan. That's right. It's a pity that not everyone in this world can devour the stellar core and refine the power of the stars. Even the eternal lord can't do it. The Black King said in a low voice. Jiang Chen put away great sage Ping Tian's corpse and began to prepare to refine the stellar core. Master, be careful. Even the astral pole can't guarantee that nothing will go wrong. The energy of the stellar core is too great. You must continue to compress it in order to devour and fuse with it. You must be careful. The Black King reminded him. I understand. Jiang Chen nodded silently. His eyes were burning as he looked at the stellar core without blinking. He took a deep breath. He had to go all out for the astral pole this time. Jiang Chen moved his hands and activated the astral pole. His palms were constantly being roasted by the geocentric star fire. Jiang Chen frowned and focused. The erosion of the heat waves almost made him walk on the edge of death again and again. No one could understand the feeling of despair. However, he couldn't retreat or fall. He could only continue to move forward and overcome all difficulties in order to see the light. Jiang Chen's hands were scorched by the geocentric star fire until they were dry. The surface of his skin had completely become cooked meat. His entire body was also constantly shriveling like a skinny old man. It was difficult for him to move forward. However, even so, Jiang Chen still persevered. The pain of his physical body was not worth mentioning compared to the pain of his soul. After Jiang Chen activated the astral pole, he gradually compressed the stellar core until it became smaller and smaller until it was the size of a millstone. Jiang Chen didn't know how much time had passed. However, he was already as thin as a stick and unrecognizable. At this time, he finally compressed the energy of the stellar core to the extreme. From now on, he would truly fuse and devour it. Starlight, enter my body and help me become a sage. Jiang Chen's eyes were like torches. He roared and roared as he absorbed the energy of the stellar core. The dark blue power of the stellar core began to continuously enter Jiang Chen's body. Jiang Chen felt extremely carefree. During this period of time, his body had been in a state of being scorched. However, it was different now. The ice-cold power of the stellar core made him feel refreshed and much more comfortable. Chapter 47:15. There was no sense of time in the mountains. Jiang Chen didn't know how long he had been devouring the power of the stars, but at that time, his body was in extreme pain. Although this was the smallest star core according to the Black King, the power of the stars still caused Jiang Chen unspeakable pain. Although he had devoured all the power of the stars, whether or not he could completely refine it depended on himself. If he failed, Jiang Chen's body would explode and he would die. Jiang Chen frantically revolved the astral pole, but the power of the stars was too violent, and Jiang Chen's body couldn't take it anymore. To wear the crown, one must bear the weight. The current Jiang Chen couldn't bear the excessive power of the stars, which put him in a worrying situation. The Black King was also extremely worried. Whether or not Jiang Chen could complete the devouring of the star core and completely stabilize the astral pole, success or failure depended on this. This daddy doesn't believe that I can't eat a fatty in one bite. Jiang Chen's anger rose. Damn it, this time, he had to go all out. He didn't want his body to explode. The endless power of the stars was wreaking havoc in his body. If he couldn't perfectly fuse it for a long time, he would eventually explode. Jiang Chen endured the tearing of his body and bones again and again. It was as if he was swaying between heaven and hell, and could fall into the bottomless abyss at any time. The pain accompanied Jiang Chen for a long time. Jiang Chen relied on a strand of will to hold on until now. He wanted to live, he had to live, find his son, and return to the divine world safely. They were still waiting for his return. Home. This was the unerasable longing in Jiang Chen's heart. Little Yu, Qing Qing, they were all waiting for him. Fuse for me. Jiang Chen roared as he clasped his palms together. Astral energy circulated in his dantian. The astral pole's revolution was completed. Jiang Chen had gone through 9 deaths and 9 lives, breaking through the cycle of reincarnation in hell. Finally, at this moment, he returned to heaven and earth. At that moment, Jiang Chen's strength continued to rise. The peak of the 4th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. Level 5 of the Star Emperor Realm. The peak of the 5th heaven of the Star Emperor Realm. The 6th heaven of the Star Emperor Realm. The peak of the 6th level of the Star Emperor Realm. Only at this moment did it gradually come to a stop. The eruption of the power of the stars caused Jiang Chen's strength to have a qualitative leap, and he was as stable as Mount Type. The benefits that the astral pole had brought to Jiang Chen were simply too many. Moreover, Jiang Chen had completely mastered the first level of the astral pole. At this moment, the astral pole could be considered to have truly entered the next level. Ha ha ha, I did it. Ha 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 ha. Jiang Chen laughed wildly. The Black King was also extremely excited, feeling gratified for his master. He had mixed feelings and was even worried that his master wouldn't be able to withstand the violence of the astral core with his current cultivation. But in the end, his master broke through all the obstacles and reached the first level of the astral pole. The astral core's great achievement. It was worthy of celebration and celebration. Congratulations, master. The astral pole has finally reached the great achievement realm. You'll definitely have a meteoric rise in the future. The Black King said excitedly. Thank you for your kind words. With my current strength, I'm afraid I can kill the 3 brothers of the Mo family with a single punch. Jiang Chen said with a smile. It won't be easy to find the astral core in the future. It all depends on luck. Although he was lucky this time, it wouldn't be so easy to find the astral core the next time. Although the astral pole was terrifying, it was also extremely difficult to cultivate. If he relied on absorbing the astral core to improve, he might be able to make progress in 10,000 years. Now it was time to leave this place. Jiang Chen's body started to regenerate and he started to restore his previous appearance. The skinny old man also disappeared without a trace. However, at this time, Jiang Chen's eyes still fell on the geocentric flame. Even with his current cultivation, he couldn't withstand the pressure brought by the geocentric flame. Let's try using the myriad chi cauldron. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up and he took out the myriad chi cauldron. As expected, the myriad chi cauldron carried a cauldron of geocentric flame, but it didn't melt. Jiang Chen's confidence increased and he was very happy. This cauldron of geocentric flame was his trump card. Even a stellar-level expert wouldn't dare to take it head-on. Logically speaking, when one reached the level of the great sage of the heaven leveling, his body wouldn't decay even after death. However, his body was melted by the geocentric flame. Hence, it was enough to show how overbearing the geocentric flame was. Jiang Chen had already made up his mind. If he encountered the geocentric flame again and his strength reached the stellar level, he would definitely try to devour it completely and make it his own. This myriad chi cauldron is really magical. Master, where did you get it? Even I have never heard of it before. This myriad chi cauldron should at least be a divine item of the same level as the Kong Long Jian. The Black King's face was full of shock. Who knows? It's just a cauldron that I use to refine elixirs. Jiang Chen shrugged his shoulders and couldn't be bothered with him. Now, he had to get up and leave. If he could repair the teleportation formation this time, his trip to the ancient dragon star might come to an end. Now, he was more and more worried about De Huang, Long Shan, and Xiaolong. Were they also teleported to other planets? Or were they already in the Tianqi Galaxy City? At the Golden Dragon Tribe's 10,000 miles of Grey Mountain. At this moment, clouds and thunder surged and black clouds pressed down on the city. Countless silhouettes of dragons filled the void. Between heaven and earth, even the air seemed to have solidified. Mountain peaks were stacked and dragon roars could be heard. It was frightening. Roar, roar, roar. A pitch-black figure held a 9-foot steel trident and stood proudly between heaven and earth. Countless huge dragons circled above the void with a monstrous aura. Is Jin Yi Bian here? An angry roar shook the entire sky. The surrounding area was completely covered. At this moment, the Golden Dragon Tribe also turned out in full strength and set up the strongest defense in the mountains and forests. Suddenly, a golden figure rushed up to the peak of the sky. He was wearing golden armor and his eyes were sharp. He stood with his hands behind his back and stared at the black figure silently. Tribe leader Mo, what do you mean? Jin Yibai said faintly. However, looking at Mo Xiaolong and the countless experts of the dragon tribe, he had a guess in his heart. In the ranking competition, you used all kinds of despicable methods to kill your own people. Do you admit to such a crime? Mo Xiaolong said. If you want to pin a crime on someone, you can always find a pretext. Are you forcing the Golden Dragon Tribe to submit? Jean Bai's face gradually turned cold. Only your daughter survived. This is the evidence. If you hand over your daughter now, I might be lenient and consider sparing her life. Chapter 47:16. Don't even think about it. Mo Xiaolong, don't you want the Golden Dragon tribe to surrender to you? Don't you want to rule the ancient dragon star? Why do you have to play so many tricks? Why don't you just say that you want us to surrender or die? That's simple. Why do you have to play so many tricks? Jean Bai laughed coldly. At this time, even if he had 1,000 words to say, Mo Xiaolong would only act according to his wishes and attack them. This was slander. Now that the Eternal Dragon tribe had sent a large army, you are telling me that it is because my daughter is guilty? Isn't that bullshit? To put it bluntly, Mo Xiaolong wanted to rule the ancient dragon star. Although the Eternal Dragon tribe was strong and was the strongest among the 4 tribes, his ambition was to trample the entire ancient dragon star under his feet. He wanted the other 3 dragon tribes to be his dogs. Since you are so stubborn, don't blame me for not giving you face in the past, Mo Xiaolong said seriously. Mo Xiaolong said in a serious tone. How could they not have a good reason to fight in ancient dragon star? Even though his thoughts had been seen through by Jean Bai, he did not admit it. Since things had come to this, only a battle could solve the problem. Fists could change everything. I guess that you were ambitious, but I didn't expect you to be so anxious. It seems that the other 2 dragon tribes are already in your hands. Jean Bai was extremely worried, but he could do nothing. At this time, he could only defend every inch of the Golden Dragon tribe's land. He had to fight for every inch of land. This was the only thing he could do. This was his responsibility as the leader of the tribe. They're the same as you, stubborn and inflexible. However, their endings are worse than you can imagine. You can choose to kneel before me and admit your guilt. That way, I'll be merciful and perhaps give you a way out. Isn't it good to be my dog? Why do you have to go against me? What will you get? Under your rule, the Golden Dragon tribe will only get uglier and uglier. I am giving all of you a chance. I will let all of you become my people. I will let all of you cultivate better and have more opportunities. The ancient dragon planet is one big family. I am doing this for the good of this big family. The world is big, but it must be divided and united. Long ago, the ancient dragon star was united. Now, I am just doing what a great man should do. I believe that in the future, the 4 dragon tribes will always remember me because I gave them a better life and gave them more opportunities to cultivate. As for you, you will only be a sinner of the Golden Dragon tribe. Mo Xiaolong spoke with fervor and composure. His expression was arrogant and his eyes were filled with disdain. There was only one belief in his heart, and that was to unify the 4 great dragon clans. He would be the true master of the 4 great dragon clans. Now that the Dino clan and the proud Sky Dragon clan had been conquered by him, only the Golden Dragon clan was left. That sounds nice. You are doing this for the reverse dragon scale in our hands. Jean Bai said disdainfully. No matter how glib Mo Xiaolong was, Jean Bai knew that Mo Xiaolong was doing this for the reverse dragon scale of the other 3 dragon tribes. Back then, the ancestors of the 4 dragon tribes each obtained a reverse dragon scale. The dragon tribe of the ancient dragon star was split into 4 and became the current 4 dragon tribes. Even though the Eternal Dragon tribe had the upper hand and was the #1 tribe, it was still difficult for them to destroy the other tribes. However, Mo Xiaolong had reached the 9th heaven of the Star King realm and was able to suppress the leaders of the other 4 dragon tribes. Jean Bai was very clear that the crime that Mo Xiaolong gave them was completely non-existent. It was all for his own selfish desires, to obtain the reverse dragon scale in their hands. He, seems like you are smart. However, the winner takes all. Your chance is gone. If I don't kill you today, how can I convince the others? From today onwards, there will only be the Eternal Dragon tribe in the ancient dragon star. You will be slaves forever. Mo Xiaolong's tyrannical voice shook the entire space. Countless people felt their hearts tremble because he was simply too powerful. Even Jean Bai couldn't help but take a step back, his expression extremely ugly. Oh no, our golden dragon race is in for a great calamity. Sigh. This is our fate. The Aotian Dragon tribe and the Dragon tribe are probably finished. It seems like the Eternal Dragon tribe is going to unite the ancient dragon star. Why don't we surrender? At least we can keep our lives. F***ck off. Do you think I am afraid of death? Are the Golden Dragon tribe cowards? Even if we die, we will fight them to the end. We will never admit defeat. That's right. Do you think the Eternal Dragon clan will let us go even if we surrender? They can't wait to turn us into slaves. Then we will live a life worse than death. The people of the Golden Dragon tribe were riled up. Surrendering at this time was not a solution. The Eternal Dragon tribe did not want them to submit to them and become their people. They wanted to treat them like slaves. When that time came, they might be killed mercilessly. They would not even have a chance to fight back. They would only end up in a worse state than they were now. There was still a chance if they fought to the death. However, if they gave up just like that, they would be no different from salted fish. The Golden Dragon tribe swears to follow the tribe leader. We swear to follow the tribe leader. We swear to follow the tribe leader. Loud roars resounded across the land and mountains. The people from the Golden Dragon clan were already prepared to fight to the death with the people from the Eternal Dragon clan. Genie Bai was extremely gratified. At this time, he had obtained the support of the entire tribe. Even if he died now, it would be a worthy death. That was because so many people were his loyal subjects. They were fighting for the Golden Dragon tribe and dying for the Golden Dragon tribe. He had no regrets. Another silhouette flashed past. At this moment, Jin Xiaoxiao was wearing a silver armor, looking valiant and heroic, standing proudly beside Genie Bai. Her beautiful eyes flickered with murderous intent. After Jiang Chen's death, there was only battle intent in her heart. Until today, her strength had already reached the peak of the 7th heavenly layer of Star Emperor, because she firmly believed that she would be able to leave this place one day. Your son swears to protect the Golden Dragon tribe to the death. I will advance and retreat with father. Jin Xiaoxiao gripped her sword. Tens of millions of Dragon tribe experts followed behind her. Facing the attack of the Eternal Dragon tribe, a great battle was about to break out. Good. Fight for the tribe. My son is brave and fearless. He is the role model of the Golden Dragon tribe. Ha! Jin Yibai patted Jin Xiaoxiao's shoulder. I will fight with father. I am a member of the Golden Dragon tribe in life and a ghost of the Golden Dragon tribe in death. I have no regrets in this life. Chapter 47:17. You don't know what's good for you. Then I'll send you and your mother to hell. Mo Xiaolong sneered. It seemed that he really had to teach them a lesson. Otherwise, they wouldn't have obediently knelt in front of him. You won't give up until you see the coffin. Jin Yibai, you will pay the price for your decision. I want your entire Golden Dragon tribe to die. Mo Xiaolong waved his hand, and the 4 8th heavenly layer star emperors behind him attacked Jin Yibai. My Golden Dragon tribe has never been a coward, unless you step over my dead body. Jin Yibai directly faced the 4 great experts of the Eternal Dragon tribe. He was also an 8th heavenly layer star emperor. If the 4 great experts attacked with all their strength, Jin Yibai would have to go all out to stop their advance. But even so, Jin Yibai didn't dare to be the slightest bit careless. 1 against 4. This was already very terrifying. Facing these 4, he didn't have any confidence. But in the face of such a great enemy, as the leader of the tribe, what he had to do, was to use his life to cheer for his tribe. Kill! Jin Xiaoxiao gave the order. Tens of thousands of Golden Dragon tribe members began to surge out from the mountains and forests, roaring and bellowing, going into battle to kill the enemy. They disregarded life and death, disregarding everything, in order to protect their home, for their wives and children, and for the eternal glory of the Golden Dragon tribe. If Jin Yibai retreated at this time, the entire Golden Dragon tribe would be reduced to a land of slaughter. At that time, no one would be able to survive. What a bunch of reckless fools, huh? Mo Xiaolong stood there like a raccoon, witnessing everything. There was no need for him to do anything. The entire Golden Dragon tribe could be annihilated. As long as Jin Yibai and Jin Xiaoxiao were killed, the Golden Dragon tribe would lose their backbone, and they would quickly collapse. To shoot a man, shoot the horse first. To capture the bandits, capture the leader first. Killing Jin Yibai would save him a lot of trouble. When the time came, the Golden Dragon tribe would be leaderless, and their battle prowess would drop. They would be utterly defeated, and they would be like a sheet of loose sand. Although the people of the Golden Dragon clan had been struggling bitterly, it was difficult for them to move forward. The most important thing was that Jin Ebai didn't have the slightest advantage at the moment. 4 experts of the 8th heavenly layer were suppressing him. Even if it was a battle of attrition, it was enough to defeat him. It wouldn't be long before this place turned into a sea of corpses. Dragons of both the Eternal Dragon Clan and the Golden Dragon Clan would die one after another. In a war there was no real winner, only the most important winner, because victory had to be built with sweat and blood. What a waste of time. Mo Xiaolong's face was cold and gloomy. He wasn't in the mood to waste time with Jin Ebai. With a raise of his hand, the 9-foot steel trident fell from the sky like a divine weapon. Jin Ebai's expression changed drastically. He couldn't avoid it. The 4 experts had put him in a dilemma, so he could only take it head-on. PFFF. Jin Ebai coughed out a mouthful of blood and knelt on one knee. His face was ashen, and he was trembling from the pressure. He rolled down, covered in blood. He was seriously injured. Jin Ebai narrowed his eyes. He was incomparably shocked. The 9th heavenly layer Star Emperor was simply too strong. He didn't have any strength to resist. At the same time, the 4 experts attacked again. Jin Ebai was finally at a disadvantage. It was a matter of life and death. Father. Jin Xiaoxiao's beautiful eyes flashed. She was incomparably worried. However, the experts she was facing were no less than her father. 5 7th heavenly layer Star Emperors were attacking and attacking. She was already somewhat exhausted. The experts of the Golden Dragon Clan were almost all suppressed. The experts of the Eternal Dragon Clan were more than twice their number. There was almost no chance of winning this battle. Jin Ebai was once again forced to retreat, but this time, he was not so lucky. The attacks of the 4 fell on him almost at the same time, and he was once again forced to retreat. His face was pale, and he leaned on the long blade in his hand. He was already an arrow at the end of its flight. Could it be that the heavens want my Golden Dragon Clan to perish? Jin Ebai's eyes dimmed. It seemed that this time, the Golden Dragon Clan was really finished. Those who follow me will prosper. Those who oppose me will perish. Whoever blocks this old man's path will not have a good end. Mo Xiaolong said in a deep voice. His imposing manner shook the heaven and earth. It was as if the entire sky was under his feet. Don't even think about it. Jin Ebai, would rather die than submit. Jin Ebai gritted his teeth. Even if he had to risk his life, he would release his last glory. The Golden Dragon Clan would never retreat. You're courting death. Mo Xiaolong's palm was like lightning, whistling through the air. In an instant, the sky darkened, almost blocking all of Jin Ebai's escape routes. The purpose of this attack was to take his life. Father. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. She roared hoarsely, but she couldn't help her father at all. There were so many experts around her. Her heart was filled with despair. Could it be that her father was really going to fall? In her heart, her father was always an indomitable existence. He would always be the arm that sheltered her from the wind and rain. But now, he was already in his twilight years. His life was in front of her. At this moment, in the sky, a strong wind suddenly blew. A thunder-like fist shook the void and directly blasted on Mo Xiaolong's palm. Sand and stones flew, and thunder rumbled. Mo Xiaolong's eyes were cold. His palm was broken, but his face turned ugly. In this ancient dragon star, could it be that there was an expert who could match him? Jin Ebai had closed his eyes, waiting for death to come. But he didn't expect that he was still alive. Who was it? Who helped him block this attack? When Jin Ebai opened his eyes, he was completely stunned. Jin Xiaoxiao was also stunned. She couldn't believe it. Jiang Chen, Jin Xiaoxiao said from her throat. Her expression was extremely complicated. She once thought that Jiang Chen was dead. More than half a year had passed, and there was no news from anyone. The Earth Dragon Ancient Abyss was once again covered in dust. But Jiang Chen's appearance shocked everyone. He was still alive. He was actually still alive. Jin Xiaoxiao cried tears of joy. Her eyes were full of excitement. Jiang Chen's return brought them great hope, at least in her eyes. Jiang Chen. You're still alive? Where are the people of my Eternal Dragon Clan? Mo Xiaolong stared at Jiang Chen with Leng Leng. This guy was actually able to block his palm. It seemed that he had some strength. But no matter how strong he was just a guy at the 6th sky of Star Emperor realm. In his eyes, he was not worth mentioning. They're all dead. And they told me in my dream that they miss you very much. They want me to send you on your way, Jiang Chen said with a smile. Chapter 47:18. Not bad, you're a sharp-tongued brat. It's a pity that you're on the wrong side. Not only did you kill a member of the Mo clan, but you're also on the Golden Dragon clan side. You're courting death, Mo Xiaolong said with a faint smile. I don't know if I'm courting death or not, but if you want to touch the Golden Dragon clan, you'll have to go through me first. Jiang Chen stood in front of Jin Yibai, glancing at him and nodding slightly at Jin Xiaoxiao. He would definitely give the Golden Dragon clan an explanation in this battle. He was not even afraid of Mo Xiaolong. This battle was a good opportunity to test his strength and see what level he had reached. Arrogant brat. Do you really think you can change the Eternal Dragon clan? In this ancient dragon star, no one can fight with me. Mo Xiaolong said with an arrogant face. He did not put Jiang Chen in his eyes at all. How do you know if you don't try? Jiang Chen looked expectant. He was not afraid of Mo Xiaolong at all. At this moment, all the members of the Golden Dragon clan did not have much of a reaction, because some of them did not know Jiang Chen. Could a guy of the 6th heavenly layer really save them? This was simply a fantasy. Wasn't it crazy to pin their hopes on Jiang Chen? Jiang Chen, you. Jin Xiaoxiao looked at Jiang Chen, her heart full of joy and worry. She even hoped that Jiang Chen had not returned to the Golden Dragon clan, because at this moment, he was no longer shouldering the life and death of a single person, but the rise and fall of the entire Golden Dragon clan. If he did not come back, then perhaps he would have a chance to leave this place, but he still came back resolutely. It was very likely that the Eternal Dragon clan would bury him here forever. Jin Xiaoxiao did not have much confidence in Jiang Chen, because Mo Xiaolong was too strong. He had the support of the entire Eternal Dragon clan, while Jiang Chen was only one person. How could he fight the strongest force of the ancient dragon star? Don't worry, I'm here. Jiang Chen's unquestionable voice caused Jin Xiaoxiao to be slightly stunned. His confidence was even firmer than she had imagined. In this battle, Jiang Chen might very well die for the Golden Dragon tribe. In that case, she would definitely not live alone. Since you like to play the hero so much, I will fulfill your wish. Mo Xiaolong's smile narrowed as his murderous aura surged. He waved his hand, and the 4/8 Sky Star Emperors behind him charged at Jiang Chen, hoping to kill him in one strike. Jin Yibai and Jin Xiaoxiao held their breaths, watching the battle. After all, Jiang Chen's strength was obvious. 4/8 Heavenly Layer Star Emperors were too strong. Even the 10 Jin Yibai could only avoid them. Jiang Chen didn't move at all, and the attacks of the 4 people directly bombarded Jiang Chen's body. Jiang Chen let out a low shout, and his aura soared to the clouds. He threw out 4 heavy punches in succession, and effortlessly dealt with the siege of the 4 experts. Interesting. Mo Xiaolong's eyes lit up. This Jiang Chen seemed to have some ability. This way he also became excited. He hoped that this Jiang Chen could bring him more surprises. Otherwise, wouldn't it be too boring? Conquering the ancient dragon star like this was no pressure for Mo Xiaolong at all. Jiang Chen directly used the dragon transformation, fighting 1 against 4. At this time, his move once again shocked the entire Golden Dragon tribe. No one had thought that Jiang Chen would directly fight the 4 experts of the Eternal Dragon tribe with the strength of a 6 Sky Star Emperor. Even their patriarch had to avoid him. However, Jiang Chen was getting fiercer and fiercer. The 4 people couldn't shake him at all, and were even forced back by him again and again. The scene was extremely lively. At this time, the Golden Dragon tribe also raised their arms and cheered loudly, full of confidence. As their blood boiled, it stimulated their potential to protect their homeland. The 4 of you are still no match for me. Jiang Chen pulled out his sword and rushed straight in. The 4 experts immediately felt that they were facing a formidable enemy, because Jiang Chen changed his previous posture of defense and began to counterattack. He was like a sword, unstoppable. The limitless sword began to wreak havoc wildly. The sword shadows made the 4 people complain incessantly. Their bodies were covered with cuts and bruises. Jiang Chen's speed and strength completely crushed them. They almost had no power to fight back. From the initial confidence they were passive. Not only the 4 experts, but even Mo Xiaolong's face was not good. Jiang Chen was too abnormal, wasn't he? 1 against 4, and they couldn't fight back at all. If the fight continued, the 4 experts' lives would be at stake. The scene became more and more lively. The Eternal Dragon Tribe's people were also shocked. Mo Xiaolong knew that it seemed that he had to take action. Otherwise, once the morale was low, the Golden Dragon Tribe would likely find a chance to turn the tables. He had to kill them directly. A bunch of trash. Get out of here. Mo Xiaolong shouted in a deep voice. He finally wanted to kill Jiang Chen personally. Jiang Chen looked calm, holding the heavenly dragon sword in his hand. The real battle had just begun. Mo Xiaolong's palm technique was like thunder, rolling and roaring, stirring up the void. Jiang Chen was facing a formidable enemy and did not dare to be careless. Mo Xiaolong was not someone the 4 experts of the 8th heavenly layer could compare to. The 9th heavenly layer Astral Emperor was only a step away from the stellar level expert, so Jiang Chen did not dare to underestimate him at all. After the 7th heavenly layer Astral Emperor, everyone's strength could not be underestimated. According to Mo Xiaolong, he might really be the strongest expert of the ancient dragon star. How could Jiang Chen dare to be careless? Die for me! Mo Xiaolong's palm landed on Jiang Chen's head. Jiang Chen didn't even bat an eye as he punched out with his fist. However, he was pushed back by Mo Xiaolong. Jiang Chen took a few steps back with a solemn expression on his face. This palm strike made him feel the domineering aura of the strongest warrior in the ancient dragon star. This Mo Xiaolong really deserved his reputation. You're still too inexperienced to fight with me. Mo Xiaolong sneered and took the opportunity to attack Jiang Chen. He wanted to give a fatal blow to a drowning dog. This was his specialty. Mo Xiaolong's strength was unstoppable. Once he made a move, countless people would tremble in fear. There was almost no one who could match him. Even Jin Yibai could not last more than 10 moves against him. This was also the reason why Mo Xiaolong dared to fight against the entire ancient dragon star's 3 great dragon tribes by himself. His confidence was unmatched. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. He held the heavenly dragon sword in his hand and rushed forward again. He was determined to kill Mo Xiaolong. The 2 figures continued to exchange blows. Jiang Chen's dragon transformation and the ancient soaring dragon technique made him invincible. Even when facing a strong opponent like Mo Xiaolong, he was invincible. Chapter 47:19. They had thought that Jiang Chen was here to die. But now, it seemed that this expert who had saved the day was indeed extraordinary. Isn't he too strong? Is he really a level 6-star sovereign? That's impossible. Exactly. This guy makes me speechless. Even our chief is no match for Mo Xiaolong. But he is on par with Mo Xiaolong. If it weren't for the fact that it happened right in front of me, I would have thought that I was seeing things. Maybe he is a true genius. I'm afraid we are all mediocre in his eyes. Sigh, comparisons are odious. My only hope now is that Jiang Chen can defeat Mo Xiaolong and return the Golden Dragon Tribe to its former glory. It's difficult. Although Jiang Chen is strong, I'm afraid that he doesn't have enough strength. He seems to be able to fight Mo Xiaolong now, but once Mo Xiaolong uses his full strength, Jiang Chen will be in danger. The people of the Golden Dragon Tribe were anxious. They hoped that Jiang Chen could help them turn the tide. But Mo Xiaolong's strength was too terrifying. He was the #1 expert of the ancient dragon planet. Who wouldn't tremble in fear? As expected, Jiang Chen found it difficult to move forward. Mo Xiaolong was too strong. Jiang Chen's aura could not suppress him at all. The Eternal Dragon Tribe was indeed strong. Jiang Chen had to give it his all. This battle was not as simple as Jiang Chen had imagined. Startling dragon roar. Mo Xiaolong's roar was deafening. The dragon's roar flashed across the sky. Many covered their ears. Their eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. They were in extreme pain. So scary. Everyone cried out in alarm. They had no choice but to retreat as their bodies tensed up. Eternal celestial wind. Jiang Chen roared. Blades of wind fell from the sky. His aura was overwhelming. He did not retreat. The dragon's roar directly scattered Jiang Chen's eternal immortal wind. However, it was unable to force Jiang Chen back. Jiang Chen only retreated a dozen steps. His countenance was as calm as ever, as calm as ever. The cheers of the Golden Dragon Tribe became even more fervent. Jiang Chen and Mo Xiaolong's battle was rather intense. Jin Yibai's blood was boiling as he watched. After so many years, he no longer had the passion of his youth. However, Jiang Chen's appearance made him incomparably excited. Not bad, very good. Very good, very good. It seems that I have to teach you a lesson. Dying under my reverse dragon scale is your good fortune. Dragon's reverse scale. Grant me strength. Mo Xiaolong's body suddenly shone brightly, and 3 reverse dragon scales appeared between his eyebrows. At this moment, his strength suddenly soared. It's the reverse dragon scale. Jin Xiaoxiao exclaimed in disbelief. Jiang Chen, watch out. Jin Yibai's expression changed drastically. No one knew how powerful the reverse dragon scale was. Of course, he was one of the few who knew. Hence, he would rather retreat in defeat than use the reverse dragon scale. As long as he kept the news of the reverse dragon scale, Mo Xiaolong would not exterminate the Golden Dragon tribe. That was his final trump card. However, it was obvious that Mo Xiaolong had obtained the reverse dragon scales of the Outyen Dragon tribe and the Dinosaur tribe. 3 reverse dragon scales had boosted his strength considerably. Jiang Chen, retreat. Jin Xiaoxiao said hurriedly. At this moment, if Jiang Chen did not retreat, he would very likely be obliterated by Mo Xiaolong. Your end is here. Mo Xiaolong's sinister smile reverberated in the sky. To anyone, this was a symbol of the end of the world. The 3 reverse dragon scales sealed the entire void. The power that they brought to Mo Xiaolong was also unimaginable. Dragon's reverse dragon scale? I happen to have 2 of them too. The corner of Jiang Chen's mouth curled up slightly. His eyes turned cold as he activated the 2 reverse dragon scales and fused them with his dragon vein. In an instant, the same radiance was released, shocking everyone. He actually has 2 reverse dragon scales too? Jin Yibai and Jin Xiaoxiao looked at each other and gasped. Dragon's reverse dragon scales were not cabbages. Everyone had one. Even the Eternal Dragon tribe had one. It was a symbol of power and not everyone had one. Yet, Jiang Chen actually had 2 of them. How could they not be shocked? Mo Xiaolong's eyes flickered. He was so excited that he could not control himself. He only had one reason to deal with the other 3 dragon tribes, and that was to obtain the reverse dragon scale. But now, Jiang Chen actually had 2 of them. Could it be that the heavens were on his side? Mo Xiaolong was so happy that he could not close his mouth. This time he had really struck it rich. Looks like there's a free deal. Ha 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 ha, I can wear out iron shoes in fruitless search, only to find it by chance. Mo Xiaolong was extremely excited. Jiang Chen was simply delivering milk to him. He was still worried that he did not have the opportunity to break through to the stellar level. He wanted to use the reverse dragon scale to break through to the ancient dragon planet. Yet, Jiang Chen actually gave him 2 reverse dragon scales. This was simply an auspicious sign from the heavens. I'm afraid you won't be able to enjoy it. Jiang Chen sneered. Both of their auras rose once again. As they looked at each other, their fighting spirit soared. The ultimate battle had completely erupted. Jiang Chen catch. Jin Yibai hesitated. At this moment, he still threw the reverse dragon scale in his hand to Jiang Chen. This was their last hope. If Jiang Chen lost, then the entire Golden Dragon tribe would be in deep trouble. When the nest is overturned, there will be no eggs left intact. If they wanted to survive, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. However, if Jiang Chen really managed to turn the tables at this moment and defeat Mo Xiaolong, then they would become the true rulers of the ancient dragon planet. Jin Yibai was filled with worry. This was something left behind by their ancestors. It was an existence that the 4 great tribes guarded. He knew very well how powerful the reverse dragon scale was. Jiang Chen only had 2 reverse dragon scales. He would definitely be at a disadvantage against Mo Xiaolong. With the addition of his scale, it might be the key to victory. At this moment, Jin Yibai had completely placed his last hope in Jiang Chen's hands. This was something that could not be helped, because he was the only one who could truly fight Mo Xiaolong. I hope you won't disappoint me. Jin Yibai murmured. Jiang Chen's body trembled. He took the reverse dragon scale from Jin Yibai's hand. This was Jin Yibai's trust in him. It was also their entrustment. Jiang Chen was not fighting alone. The entire Golden Dragon tribe was fighting. He definitely could not lose. If he lost, then the Golden Dragon tribe would suffer. Jiang Chen, I believe in you. Chapter 47:20. A bunch of ignorant fools. You want to fight with me? You're too inexperienced. Mo Xiaolong's roar shook the heavens. His aura was like that of a tiger. With the support of the 3 reverse dragon scales, his strengthened aura had reached an unprecedented height. He was already infinitely close to a stellar-grade being. Mo Xiaolong had been working hard for so many years, but he couldn't reach the stellar level. Therefore, he decided to unify the entire ancient dragon star with the help of the 4 scales. Anyone who stood in his way must die. Even the heavens were no exception. Dragon's reverse scale, reverse the firmament. Mo Xiaolong's strength kept rising. Everyone was suffocating. The mountains and valleys cracked inch by inch. Everyone was shocked. Sword 26. Sword 27. Sword 28. Jiang Chen swung his sword towards the west. With the help of the 3 reverse dragon scales, he was no different from Mo Xiaolong. Both of their strengths had reached their peak. At this moment, the entire sky had turned dark gray. Jiang Chen's sword was boundless, and with the help of his sword, Mo Xiaolong was being pressured to the point of suffocation. Roar, however, Mo Xiaolong was still from the Eternal Dragon clan. His strength couldn't be underestimated. The scales were very helpful to him. He overshadowed Jiang Chen instantly. However, Mo Xiaolong still underestimated Jiang Chen's sword. Sword 28, Sword Aura, allowed Jiang Chen to increase the power of the Heavenly Dragon Sword. Although he couldn't control it completely, it was enough to deal with Mo Xiaolong. Die! The Sword 28 slashed through the void once again. Mo Xiaolong kept retreating. Everyone was shocked. Everyone gasped. Not only the Golden Dragon clan, but also the people of the Eternal Dragon clan began to feel uneasy because this Jiang Chen was too abnormal. The one and only supreme expert in their eyes, the patriarch of the Eternal Dragon clan, Mo Xiaolong, was defeated by a 6th Heavenly Star Emperor brat. This was unacceptable to them. He won. Jin Xiaoxiao was shocked. She began to feel excited. It's not that easy. I keep feeling that this Mo Xiaolong won't be defeated so easily. Jin Yibai furrowed his brows. Even though Jiang Chen had the absolute initiative at this moment, and Jiang Chen's domineering aura had allowed everyone to witness Jiang Chen's domineering aura, Mo Xiaolong was forced to retreat again and again. Finally, he was forced to retreat. After being struck by 3 swords and covered in blood, Mo Xiaolong, who was kneeling on one knee, slowly raised his head and looked at Jiang Chen with a sinister smile. The battle intent in his eyes had not disappeared. Clearly, he still had not admitted defeat. This is too satisfying. It's been a long time since someone was able to fight so happily with me. Now I want you to die. Mo Xiaolong gradually stood up. However, his body was also constantly expanding at this time. When he finally returned to his original form, he was a gigantic dragon that blotted out the sky. He had 3 heads and 6 legs. He was filled with an intimidating aura that caused people's hair to stand on end. With a dragon roar, all the dragons in the mountain couldn't help but tremble, wanting to prostrate themselves in worship. This was the aura of the Eternal Dragon clan. Jiang Chen retreated step by step. However, Mo Xiaolong's oppressive aura was still unbreakable. Jiang Chen was pressured to the point that he found it hard to breathe. His expression was incomparably grim. You have 3 reverse dragon scales. So do I. Mo Xiaolong's attacks became more and more powerful because after returning to his original form, his strength had once again reached an unprecedented height. Although his consumption was huge, the benefits were unimaginable. Mo Xiaolong had almost never returned to his original form to fight. Jiang Chen had forced him to this point. For Mo Xiaolong, it was already a great ability. However, after returning to his original form, there was no one who could match him in this world. It's over. It's over. Jiang Chen is finished. Sigh. Can't you say something more auspicious? How is it over? I think Jiang Chen still has some chance of winning. Mo Xiaolong's original form is too strong. It's even stronger than before. Both of them have 3 reverse dragon scales. Do you think Jiang Chen can still hold on? It's hard to say. No one can say for sure until the last moment. Previously, we thought that Jiang Chen would definitely die. But isn't Jiang Chen alive and well now? We should believe in him, just like we believe in ourselves. The experts of the Golden Dragon clan were looking forward to Jiang Chen, hoping that he could bring them hope. As long as there was hope, life would not collapse, and the Golden Dragon clan would not be destroyed because of this. The original form of the Eternal Dragon clan is too strong. I don't know if Jiang Chen can withstand it. Jin Yibai sighed. He couldn't bear to put all the burden on an outsider, but in this situation, what else could he do? If he lives, I live. If he dies, I will die with him. Jin Xiaoxiao's eyes were burning, unwavering. Jin Yibai heaved a sigh. He felt sorry for all the parents in the world. This little girl was too heart-wrenching. However, her infatuation also gave him a headache. Jiang Chen, oh Jiang Chen, don't let my daughter down. Facing Mo Xiaolong's layers of attacks, Jiang Chen tried his best, but it was still like pouring a cup of water on a burning cart of firewood. This was because this giant was too terrifying. What he brought wasn't just pressure, but also unparalleled power. Jiang Chen's footsteps were getting slower and slower. The sky dragon sword in his hand was brandishing an endless stream of sword qi. Although the limitless sword made him almost invincible, his life could be in danger at any time. Giant dragons roar. Mo Xiaolong's 3 heads roared, and his 6 claws wreaked havoc. Jiang Chen was completely in a passive state, unable to continue. This scene made everyone hold their breaths, afraid that Jiang Chen would directly fall. To them it was like doomsday. The claws tore through the mountains, and the mountains were as thin as paper. Mountains crumbled, and forests were destroyed. Mo Xiaolong's battle strength and destructive power were unprecedentedly terrifying. Jiang Chen's body was constantly being injured by Mo Xiaolong's claws. Wounds covered his body, and blood was everywhere. Jiang Chen's situation was already on the brink of death. Fuck you, if a tiger doesn't show its might, you'll take me for a sick cat. Jiang Chen was completely enraged. If he didn't rise, he would be killed by Mo Xiaolong. Black King, kill him. Jiang Chen roared. The Black King appeared, and charged at Mo Xiaolong. The Black King's strength had already reached the 8th celestial layer, which was already very terrifying. When he joined forces with Jiang Chen, he even brought out 120% of his strength. You're just a mantis trying to stop a chariot. No one can stop my advance. Your dragon's reverse scale is mine. Haha. Mo Xiaolong roared. The giant shadow descended once again, and the Black King was directly injured. However, it still fought for Jiang Chen's survival. Chapter 47-21. What a terrifying defense. Jiang Chen was shocked. This Mo Xiaolong was really terrifying. Even his defense was monstrous. Damn it, it's all up to you. Konglong Jian. Jiang Chen extended his hand and grasped. The appearance of the Konglong Jian made the tens of thousands of dragon race experts on the mountain range tremble in fear. Even Mo Xiaolong stared at the divine weapon in Jiang Chen's hand. What kind of weapon is that? Why do I feel so much fear towards it? Mo Xiaolong murmured. When Jiang Chen took out the Konglong Jian, all the dragon race experts bowed their heads and no one dared to disobey. I'll let you have a taste of this Konglong Jian. Jiang Chen sneered and clashed with Mo Xiaolong again. This time, the Konglong Jian didn't disappoint Jiang Chen. The sword shadows hit Mo Xiaolong's body, causing him to cry out in pain. The Konglong Jian felt like it was hitting his soul. The pain made him feel despair. Konglong Jian. Is there really a Konglong Jian? Mo Xiaolong's heart stirred as his face was filled with shock. He remembered that the Eternal Dragon race's ancient books had records of the Kong Dragon Truncheon. It was said that it was only a legendary item from ancient times and did not necessarily exist in this world. The Kong Dragon Truncheon was specially made to spur the dragon race on. No member of the dragon race could disobey it. Once the Kong Dragon Truncheon appeared, all the members of the dragon race could only look at it and lament their inadequacy. Mo Xiaolong was hit repeatedly by the Konglong Jian. His heart trembled and his soul was torn. In addition, Jiang Chen was rushing towards him with all his might. He couldn't unleash his full strength. In front of the Konglong Jian, he could only unleash 70% of his strength. Jiang Chen also had the enhancement of the Konglong Jian. Damn it! You are just a dog that relies on its master's power. You want to use a weapon to finish me off? You must be dreaming. Humph. Mo Xiaolong snorted coldly. 15 minutes later. Under the constant suppression of the Konglong Jian, Mo Xiaolong was already in a desperate situation. He was dispirited. Jiang Chen was getting stronger and stronger. With the Konglong Jian in hand, Mo Xiaolong couldn't fight back at all. He could only take the beating passively. I can't accept this. I can't accept this. Mo Xiaolong roared. His face was filled with despair. However, the Kong Dragon Truncheon was too powerful. Its suppression on him was too terrifying. He could endure the physical pain, but the whiplash that came from the depths of his soul made him unable to retaliate at all. That was the saddest thing. Jiang Chen's divine bravery was unparalleled. With the Kong Dragon Truncheon in hand, he began his final crazy attack on Mo Xiaolong. Mo Xiaolong had no choice but to run for his life. The Eternal Dragon Clan's patriarch, who used to be insufferably arrogant, had now become a street rat. Jiang Chen, you can't kill me. If you do, the Eternal Dragon Clan will never let you off. Mo Xiaolong roared angrily, but his heart was filled with fear. I won't kill you? Why were the commoners so angry? Not kill you? How can we face those dead dragons? Jiang Chen sneered and showed no mercy. The Kong Dragon Truncheon struck Mo Xiaolong's head, completely annihilating his soul. Mo Xiaolong's massive body slowly fell to the ground, stirring up endless dust. The members of the Eternal Dragon Clan panicked at that moment. Without a leader, they were in disarray. Everyone heaved a long sigh of relief. Finally, they did not have to die. The Golden Dragon Clan was saved. Kill! Jin Xiaoxiao took advantage of the victory to pursue. With a shout, the Golden Dragon Clan's experts moved in full force and surrounded the members of the Eternal Dragon Clan. Patriarch, do you plan to kill all the members of the Eternal Dragon Clan? Jiang Chen smiled and looked at Jin Yibai. Jin Yibai had a complicated look in his eyes as he sighed. He waved his hand and shouted in a deep voice. Retreat! The members of the Golden Dragon Clan were puzzled. This was the best time to deal with the Eternal Dragon Clan. Why did they have to retreat now? What decision would they make when they made a comeback in the future? We were born from the same root. Why rush to kill each other? As members of the Dragon Clan, they had no choice. Everything has its cause. It's all Mo Xiaolong's fault. Now that he's dead, the Eternal Dragon Clan is in trouble both internally and externally. Without a leader, they are pitiful people. Jin Yibai's words caused all the members of the Golden Dragon tribe to fall silent. Indeed, everyone had their own family and children. No one wanted to die on the battlefield. If it wasn't for Mo Xiaolong's desire to obtain the dragon's reverse scale, the 4 great dragon tribes might live peacefully forever. Although there were conflicts between them, it didn't mean that everyone yearned for war. The Eternal Dragon tribe's war was far from over. However, the Golden Dragon tribe should not be the one to end them. Besides the Golden Dragon tribe, the other 4 dragon tribes were struggling at death's door. Jin Yibai did not want more killings. That was why he chose to do nothing. It was not impossible for him to unify the ancient dragon star. However, that would require more blood. That was not Jin Yibai's intention. Jin Yibai was not worried about Jin Yibai. He was not worried about Jin Yibai. Thank you, Brother Jiang. Jin Yibai knelt on one knee and said solemnly. At that moment, the entire Golden Dragon Clan knelt on one knee at Jiang Chen's feet. Chief, please get up. Jiang Chen waved his sleeves and helped Jin Yibai up. He shook his head and smiled. I'm just doing my best and leaving the rest to fate. I can't stand Mo Xiaolong. You're right. We were born from the same root. Why rush to kill each other? If we could live peacefully forever, who would want to be involved in war? This time, I'm lucky to have you. Jin Xiaoxiao said affectionately. Jiang Chen was her unparalleled hero. He was the person she would never forget. As long as the dragon tribe is alive, there will be reincarnation. Jiang Chen said non-committally. Brother Jiang Chen, you have the Konglong Jian in your hand. All the dragon tribe should respect you as a saint. We, the Golden Dragon tribe, are willing to respect you as the chief of the tribe. Jin Yibai said in a deep voice. His words were firm and righteous. No way. Jiang Chen waved his hand. I'm not cut out to be a chief. Plus, I won't stay here forever. Brother Jiang, you're leaving? Jin Yibai asked with a troubled expression. To be honest, I came to the ancient dragon star by chance. I don't know where my friend is or if he's in danger. I have to leave as soon as possible, Jiang Chen said. But the teleportation portal of the ancient dragon star is broken. Without a stellar class elite, we can't leave the ancient dragon star, Jin Yibai said with a frown. Of course, he didn't want Jiang Chen to leave the ancient dragon star. He was more than happy to be the leader of the ancient dragon star. It would be perfect if Jiang Chen could become his son-in-law. With my current cultivation, I should be able to fix the teleportation portal. Are you confident? Jin Xiaoxiao bit her red lips and asked in a low voice. At this moment, she even hoped that Jiang Chen wouldn't fix the teleportation formation. If that was the case, at least she and Jiang Chen could be together. Once he fixed the teleportation formation, he would leave the ancient dragon star. He would turn into a bird and fly into the sky. She might never be able to catch him again. Jin Xiaoxiao wanted freedom, but she also wanted love. However, she couldn't have it both ways. No matter which one she wanted, it would be very complicated for Jin Xiaoxiao. I'll try my best. I don't have much time left. Chapter 47-22. A good man has ambitions. It's a good thing that Brother Jiang has such ambitions. Ha ha ha. Jin Yibai laughed. He also knew that a melon that was forcefully taken would not be sweet, regardless of whether his daughter was related to him or not. Jin Yibai's disregard for power was admirable. Even if Jin Yibai offered the position of patriarch to Jin Yibai didn't have any intention of taking it. He was indeed a man of unquestionable integrity. Treating power like dirt. This was a true expert. I'll return this reverse dragon scale to you, Chief Jin. Jiang Chen handed the reverse dragon scale to Jin Yibai. Ha ha ha, how can I return something that I've already given away? Jin Yibai rejected Jiang Chen politely. You can't do that. This is the treasure of your golden dragon tribe. Jiang Chen shook his head. Jiang Chen understood the saying that a gentleman wouldn't take what someone else liked. Even if he really liked this dragon's reverse scale, he would never take it for himself. Treasures are only valuable when they are put to good use. Moreover, the other 3 reverse dragon scales of Mo Xiaolong and the others are all in your hands. If I'm the only one left, the Golden Dragon tribe will definitely be the target of the other 3 tribes in the future. Therefore, I might as well give this last reverse dragon scale to you. Furthermore, you've helped our Golden Dragon clan so much. So what's this little bit of stuff? Compared to the lives of our people, this reverse dragon scale is worthless, Jin Yibai said. Jin Yibai said. His goal was to make Jiang Chen accept the reverse dragon scale. Jiang Chen pondered for a moment and nodded heavily. In that case, I won't stand on ceremony. I'll write a gift from Chief Jin. Jiang Chen and Jin Yibai looked at each other and smiled. He already had 6 reverse dragon scales and his strength had completely stabilized at the 6th heaven of the Star Emperor realm. In fact, he could have broken through, but in order to strengthen his foundation, Jiang Chen was not in a hurry to break through. Jiang Chen rested for a day. Early the next morning, he couldn't wait to arrive in front of the broken teleportation array. At this moment, Jiang Chen's Xiaoxiao was already waiting for him. I didn't expect you to be so early, Jiang Chen said. I know you're desperate to leave this place. I just want to see if there's anything I can do to help. Jin Xiaoxiao said. However, even she herself didn't quite believe what she said. You want to leave Ancient Dragon Star with me? Jiang Chen smiled. How could he not know Jin Xiaoxiao's goal? This woman was full of longing for the outside world. Ancient Dragon Star could not hold her back at all. No, I'm just worried that you won't be able to do it alone. Jin Xiaoxiao was still very stubborn. All right then. Protect me. I'll repair the formation. Jiang Chen's expression was solemn and dignified. Whether he could leave this place or not depended on this. Jiang Chen's understanding of the formation was no weaker than De Huang's. Even now, the no-beginning formation was beneficial to Jiang Chen. In order to repair the teleportation array, he needed the no-beginning formation. Jiang Chen was very careful. He started to study the needle technique. He kept modifying and repairing the formation. Time flew. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. Jiang Chen had not been able to repair the teleportation array. However, at least Jiang Chen saw a glimmer of hope. Is there a chance? Jin Xiaoxiao asked. In another 10 days to half a month, it should be done. Jiang Chen grinned and looked at Jin Xiaoxiao. Jin Xiaoxiao felt very warm. She had been hesitating. Should she stay in Ancient Dragon Star or should she leave with Jiang Chen? Jiang Chen worked day and night, working overtime. He only hoped to solve the problem of the teleportation formation as soon as possible so that he could leave the Ancient Dragon Star. His next destination would be the Heavenly Awakening Star, the Heavenly Awakening Galaxy City. Finally, after 10 days, Jiang Chen had completely repaired the teleportation formation. He was so tired that he felt like he was about to collapse. He had been repairing the formation for nearly a month without rest. If it was any other ordinary person, they would have collapsed by now. Luckily, Jiang Chen's perseverance was strong enough. During this month, his heart was filled with anticipation. Damn it! It's finally done. Jiang Chen could not help but curse. However, he could not hide the joy in his heart. Is it fixed? Jin Xiaoxiao opened her eyes and looked at Jiang Chen and the teleportation array in front of her. It was surging with source energy. The array could be activated at any time. Yes, this time, I can finally go to Tianqi planet. Ha! Jiang Chen laughed. He was as happy as a child. Jin Xiaoxiao's lips curled up. A touch of gentleness appeared in her eyes. I might have to leave tomorrow. Do you really not want to go to Tianqi planet? Jiang Chen asked. Jin Xiaoxiao was silent. In the end, she shook her head. Filial piety is the most important thing. With parents around, one should not travel far. But one day, I will go, Jin Xiaoxiao said seriously. It was not until the Golden Dragon tribe's despair that she realized how important her father was to her. She also understood the true meaning of the saying, with parents around, one should not travel far. All right, it's up to you. I didn't expect you to be such a filial daughter. Jiang Chen could not help but think of his father. He was far away in the immortal world. He missed him a lot, but he had no choice. He had to find his child before he could go back. To Jiang Chen, this was not a journey. It was a pursuit of his life. Jin Xiaoxiao smiled. She didn't mind it at all. Another reason was Jiang Chen. It was impossible for Jiang Chen to not know that she was in love with him, but he didn't respond to her. This could only mean that he didn't love her at all. However, why would she bother herself by staying by his side? Wouldn't that make him hate her even more? Hurry up and get ready. It's time to leave. I know you have a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders. I won't force you to stay. If you have the chance, come back. There will always be people on Ancient Dragon Star who will remember you. Our Golden Dragon clan will never forget your great kindness. Jin Xiaoxiao said. Okay. Jiang Chen nodded. Ancient Dragon Star was indeed beautiful. He looked at the mountains in the distance. The green was boundless and the mountains were majestic. However, he was just a passerby. He could not stay here forever. We will meet again, Xiaoxiao, Jiang Chen said. Then, he stepped into the teleportation array. At that moment, as she watched Jiang Chen disappear into the teleportation array, Jin Xiaoxiao's heart trembled. It was as if the treasure she had held in her hands when she was young had suddenly disappeared. She finally could not hold it in anymore. Tears streamed down her face. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.